streaming.
I have pressed the button.
Oh my goodness. The button is real. So I'm still laughing at my fan fiction comment. I'm just laughing at my own jokes. Don't mind me.
That's fine.
I've always been a firm believer that if you can't laugh at your own jokes, then your jokes aren't good.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
I was told in university that I'd be a lot funnier if I didn't laugh after every joke I made.
Well,
and as I demonstrated just right now.
They were wrong.
Like I'm too jubilant. I can't not laugh if something's funny.
Real quick, I'm gonna roll for my PPE.
Okay.
7. Okay. Not bad. That's about average right there.
How about your hit points? Oh wait, no.
No. Don't do hit points for this one. Just my PPE.
Yep, that's right.
Which is currently down a bit. So I would I raise my total but not my current in this situation?
Yeah, just raise your total, not your current.
Got it. Will do.
You didn't magically level up in the middle of this. We'll call it a interrogation. Being generous.
Yeah, this gentleman's interrogation.
Yeah, this situation. Speaking of this situation, do you guys have any questions before I set the scene up for us to delve back in?
Ooh. No, not me.
I have 2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
So, this place that we're hanging out in,
Yes.
this lounge.
A lounge.
Yeah. Not where the guy's being interrogated, but that
Oh,
office.
you mean
Office.
the front office?
Yeah.
Yeah. The front offices. Yeah.
Is it carpeted?
Actually, it's a managerial office. It has that can look down onto the warehouse floor.
Is it tiled, carpeted, or just concrete?
It is tiled.
Okay. That's all I wanted to know.
Oh, I have a question actually.
Okay.
Were Nora and I the only ones in the room? Did Alicia actually leave?
No, Alicia
Alicia's been
did not leave. Alicia's
Okay.
there. She's been watching quietly, not wanting to mess with what you got.
Got it.
But once again, a lot of times the NPCs are present. Sometimes I have them pipe up. Sometimes I don't. But yes, she's present.
Okay.
I was just
Alicia
wondering...
was never the talkative type anyway.
Right. She's more of a doer.
I was just
Take that
wondering
back.
because it's getting to be about like 3 a.m. in game, something like that.
Well, it was at 2 a.m. Closer to 2, but
Okay.
yeah. Right? Wait. Shit.
I recall correctly.
hate
If I
keeping
recall
track of
correctly, the
time.
actual meeting was at 2 a.m.
Was
Between-
that?
I think it was at 2.
Yeah, it was 2 a.m. Although, so it's actually closer to 2:30. It's only been a half hour since the meeting started. With all this, you know what I mean? Like, driving only took about 10 minutes. The actual kidnap took, like, literally, like, 2 minutes before you guys were tearing out of there.
Yeah.
It took about 15 minutes to travel. Took about 10 minutes, 15 minutes of this interrogation. So it's just a little past 2:30 in the morning.
And then one more question. Since Lavin did obviously tell us that he injected him with the truth serum,
Yes.
do we have any idea the average length of time a truth serum lasts?
assume I
As
would.
in everybody, probably know. You and Lavin and anyone with any sort of medical or who have used truth serum before would know. And I will tell you in a moment. I will.
3d6. 3d6
Oh, wow.
minutes, says the book.
You echoed.
Oh well.
I
look at
will
that.
tell you.
Oh. He turned on his
14
god
minutes.
powers.
So you
I interrupted. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. It has to do with your character, so it's important. So yeah, 14. You wouldn't know how long it lasted. You know it would last between approximately 5 and 15 minutes. You can, but the interesting thing is that you, Al, You can kind of do a very brief diagnosis because of your medical skill. You don't even have to roll for it. Where you can kind of see, especially his eyes, if they're glazed a certain way, if his mannerisms, his speech implies if he's still under the effects. Right now, it does look like he's still under the effects. When you
Okay.
last left him, when we go back into this scene.
Got it. When I went to go get Patrick.
Yes, when you went to go get Patrick, he appeared to still be under the influence.
And it's been at least 5 minutes at least. It's kind of your call.
I'd say closer. I'd say almost 10.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
You guys have been talking for quite some time.
Yeah.
Yeah, got intense. Okay.
Okay.
So does anyone need a refresher? Because if everyone kind of remembers where we left off last week, I'll just shuffle it over to you guys.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay, so when we last left off, I'll kind of just set the scene for you. Tom and Blink were still in the managerial office looking down to the warehouse since they were uncomfortable being in the same room. Warehouse, right now, Jester Keaton has been handcuffed to, I guess you could say, what do they call those?
Like a beam?
Yeah, beam, a racking. There we go. Warehouse racking. I work in a fucking warehouse, and I'm like, what do they call the things they put things on? Shelves? Anyway, warehouse racking. Currently in the room is Nora and Alicia. Nora's turned away from Jester Keaton in disgust, and Alicia is just keeping an eye on him. Al and Lavin left their respective areas to meet outside into the alley, where Patrick was parked in the van, just keeping an eye on things in the alley, listening to some mellow music to kind of wind down when Al, Patrick, and Lavin had a brief discussion as to what to do next with Jester Keaton. Jester Keaton is a combination of defiant and terrified. Al put it a very interesting way, which is, we've broke him. Now we just need to give him something to hope for, because right now he's just waiting out the 6 hours, so he can just fuck you guys over now, because you rejected his initial deal, and torture didn't help. Cough, cough, cough. All right. So, where do we want to start off with? Patrick and Lavin and Al, perhaps?
Yeah,
Well, I
Patrick
think
was
that-
asking for something that he could use. And,
Also, I left. The very last thing
Oh.
that happened was I left. Like we were in the van or something, and
Yeah.
I bailed and was heading back to the office.
Okay.
And Patrick was, because obviously Patrick didn't want to punch me, and Al didn't want to force Patrick to do that either. If it could be avoided. So he was like, is there anything I can use to get on this guy's good side? And we could start there, and I would be like, which, by the way, thank you, Piph. Al could be like, thinking about it, his mother. Apparently he has a soft spot for his mother.
Patrick is quiet for a moment. I need to get in touch with August. I need a bit more information.
We don't have much time. Minutes at most.
I just need to know if she's alive or not.
Okay, hurry. And Al's gonna slide against the truck, squatting down, resting for a second.
Okay. So, Patrick, you jam on the radio frequency to talk with August?
Yes.
All right. After a few beeps or pages of the radio, you hear August's tinny voice, slightly groggy, as he says, yes, Patrick, I'm sorry, I must have fell asleep. Is everything all right?
I need vital information fairly quickly. I hope you're up for this.
Yes, of course, of course. Let me just move over to my terminal while we're speaking. What kind of information do you require?
I need to know information on. I am terrible with names. This guy that we're interrogating specifically.
Chester Keaton.
Chester
Yeah, well,
Keaton.
here, wait, hold up. I'll do you one better. I'll let you know his first name too. Give me just 2 seconds. Because you were told his first name. Clive Cameron, also known as Jester Cameron. Did I say Keaton?
I think so.
You've been saying Keaton
Saying
for a
Keaton.
while.
No. Well, I'm gonna have to just change this note.
Yeah, because I
Clive
remember.
Keaton. No, I remember because I'm like,
He
wait,
was
no,
Cameron
I've
at
been saying
first.
Keaton the entire thing.
Yeah,
Clive
and
Keaton.
you also had him be called Mr. K. Remember?
Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Mr. J.
Mr. J!
Oh, names are hard, everyone. All right, sorry. No, but the full name is Clive Keaton. Street name Jester Keaton.
I need to know basic information about Mr. Keaton's mother.
Mother. All right.
General. I need to know if she's still alive.
I see. Well, I will. I'm still tapped into the info terminals here from our more recent escapades. I'll do a quick information scrub and search for these particular keywords. It'll take at least a few minutes, though, for me to go through everything and to confirm. Shall I radio back once I find something out?
Yes.
Excellent. All right. I'll forward any details I can. Talk with you shortly. Oh, before you go, you said it was of great urgency. There was some suspicious activity earlier on at the hotel. I'm concerned that perhaps one of these Hell Riders were trying to entrap or trick me. I'll go into more details about that later. Just want you to know that I'm safe and that a possible attempt was made.
Okay. As long as you think you can handle it, keep us informed.
Oh, yeah. We sent her away. It's fine. All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Patrick will bump the car a bit to get Al's attention.
Huh? What?
He's going to be getting a bit more information, but it'll take some time.
We have minutes before that drug wears off.
Yes, I know. Yes, I know. Squeaky toy in the background. Or child.
I'm sorry,
Or...
no, it's my dog.
Tension
He's
rising,
going
tension
to
rising.
town.
Squeak, squeak, squeak.
Wally!
Keaton starts squeaking. All right.
Al would say, Patrick, we're out of time. We need you.
Patrick ponders for a bit. Okay. So let's just say we would probably have to. We would need to know if she's alive or not to even have a starting statement, to even lie about his mother. Oh, just can't use that now.
We can just keep.
The quick page is on the radio.
Mhm.
August says, if you need to know, I'm still scrubbing a lot of information, but I do see here a Melissa Keaton. She matches the age and is linked to this Jester fellow. She's seen as deceased. She was 52 years old. Drug overdose 4 years ago.
Thank you. That is precisely what we're looking for.
Now, this is preliminary information, but more will be coming.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. His mother is dead. Drug overdose 4 years ago.
Can you use that or not?
If he still has feelings about her, and whatever sort of, I hate to do this, but we can try to play it by ear. You seem to be reading him at least somewhat well.
Well, between me and Nora's mind reading, which I'm still not sure how it works, but it's been pretty effective.
Okay. So do you still want me to be a cop, or would you want to just come back in? Because it would also be really suspicious for you to leave for I don't even know how long, and then come back with a cop already.
No, because I was told to come get one, i.e. you. The thing is, he's hit a point where he thinks that we are just going to torture him forever, and at that point he's given up. We need to give him hope that there's a better outcome, i.e. you, the police, someone who can't kill him, someone who will just arrest him, which at this point is a much better alternative than what we have made him afraid of. And I was told by Nora, who's being my boss, to go get one. So I'm not going to be happy about it, but just play the role of an undercover cop. That might be all we need. Just keep me from him and act like we're going to take him in if he talks.
Okay. Let's just get our story straight. How did you get me so fast?
You were part of the strike team, but we...
The squeaky strike team.
I am so sorry. He's not even in the room, so...
Mr. Floggles.
I will say you were part of the strike team, but we left you out of the interrogation, and you're going to be very upset that we did.
So I'm part of your group.
No, you're attached to us. Wait, so yes.
I was waiting
I
for-
would love.
I was
It's
waiting
just
for
like-
Patrick to blink and
you
say,
see, like,
"Now we're just arguing
Pyric-
semantics."
Patrick is like squinting his eyes at you.
Al says, look, it's been a tough night. Just, yes, you are our leash holder. You're the person who's supposed to make sure that we don't go crazy. You're the connection to the police.
Okay.
Patrick, I'm sorry, but that truth serum could run out any minute.
Another beep on the radio.
Patrick would take this.
Okay, just want to make sure. August says she was this same woman. Looks like confirmed was this Jester Keaton's mother. Looks like there were some domestic problems in his household. I'm looking through old reports of domestic disturbances, and apparently, there's no nice way to say this. She was a prostitute, and Law Johns would come over, and sometimes they'd beat her up. Apparently, he was around that time during that. He's also suspected in the one who killed his mother too. He is. It's officially a drug overdose, but it was still. Apparently, there was some sort of investigation by the Ishmaeling Police Department. It was ran inconclusive. Therefore, they just determined it was that. But he was brought in for questioning, without question. Some of the statements here shows a very toxic relationship.
And it was long. Who was his name?
Pardon me?
You said somebody. There was a domestic.
Disturbances. A series of domestic disturbances. Johns. Sorry if you're not familiar with the term. The men who are clients of prostitutes.
Thank you. This is exactly what I need.
Oh,
You've been a giant help.
Well, I also have his birth records here right now, in addition to a litany of convicted and suspected crimes too. Apparently, this guy is pretty rough customer.
Okay. Keep that on hand. I'll call you back if I will need any specifics, but
Understood.
thank you.
Oh yeah,
Um,
no problem.
Patrick quickly hangs up the radio and is like, all right, let's go.
All right. You enter back through the alleyway door. Or not.
Al, as they're going, Al would say, I've never seen a truth serum last longer than 20 minutes, and I haven't exactly been keeping track of time, but think it's been about 12, 13.
We're most likely not going to entirely need it, but he might still feel the need to screw us over for
Al
whatever
nods.
reason.
When we get in, I'll go talk to Nora like I'm angry this is happening. Let her know that we're going to be relying on her.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I'm sorry.
Patrick, visibly, winces and, looks up a bit, mouthing, what am I doing?
Al will put a hand on Patrick's shoulder and squeeze, and he'll say, I don't like this either. I'm sorry. And then he'll enter in.
All right. Patrick, the dim lights of the alleyway are a stark contrast to the fluorescent lights inside this warehouse, in which you can see a video camera that was set up into one corner. Or, sorry, not a video camera, well, a camera that can record video. You recognize it as Tom's that he acquired when you were up in orbit. You see a close cropped dyed blonde hair man with metal teeth, his mouth hanging agape. He's just covered in sweat from head to foot. It's coming through the armpits of his nice shirt. His feet are hanging slightly limply as he's hung by handcuffs by his wrist over top some racking. You also see Alicia and Nora present. Lavin, when you entered back into the building, where did you head? Back up to the office?
Yeah.
Okay. And peering through a glass divider, a glass set of windows, you can see inside the office Tom, Lavin, and a, for lack of a better word, perturbed-looking Blink. She, at least, is kind of glaring down at everything with her arms crossed. All right, scene is set. Go ahead.
Nora, if she notices Blink glaring, she will glare right back at that person. I was gonna say bitch, but that might not be appropriate. But Nora, yeah, she's
You
glaring
start
right
to
back
feel
at.
hot for some reason. It seems like fire starts. Nah, just kidding.
All right. Blink will meet your eyes for a moment, and just for a few seconds, she'll kind of take your gaze right before she shifts it away and starts looking over at Keaton. Her arms slowly uncross and stay by her side, but the look on her face and the series of blinks that she gives does not change. The scene is yours, my friend. I'll throw it up, and since Patrick has entered into this, we'll give you the right of way there, Piph.
Okay. Patrick slowly opens the door, steps in, walks a few steps, and then he looks at both Al and
You can say one of three names and you'd be
yeah,
right.
I'm trying to figure out which one.
Well, I can say that Al would kind of brush past him going towards Nora, and he'd be like, this is bullshit.
Shut up.
So, explain to me again why you thought it was a good idea to do the investigation on your own.
Keaton's eyes slide towards Patrick.
It became personal. You didn't see the way he treated me.
You get. I'm not going to say what he's thinking, Nora, but you get since you still have this telepathic communication, you get a flare up of some horrible things he wishes he could do to you.
Mm. She kind of winces a little bit. Very slightly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's just say we can put this behind us.
Al kind of mutters
Maybe.
under his breath. Al mutters under his breath. I'll put you behind me.
If you're near Nora, she'll kind of jab you a little bit with her elbow.
Yeah, he's
not
close
Nora
there.
hard, but you know.
And when you do that, Al will turn around towards you like angrily, and he'll say quietly, "The serum can't last much longer. We're going to be relying on you."
She'll kind of glance over and say, "I can't go on much longer."
Fuck.
Because yeah, it's I think like 16 minutes until I
Yeah.
completely run out. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could always spend the ISP and activate it again, but he'll get another check, so he might try to block you out of his head,
Yeah.
knowingly or unknowingly.
Al will just give the slightest of nods of understanding.
All right. I'll deal with them later. I was hoping to do this dealing with a bit more, as he looks over at the other two, class.
You want class? Then take something over at the fucking learning annex. That says a clenched tooth, Jester Keaton. Uncuff me, and let's make a deal. But first, I want to know who you are. And if you have any authority in here, I don't want to see those two again. And he looks over and gestures his chin over at Al and Nora.
Now, as much as I would love to do everything you say, I am the one currently in the seat of power, let's just say. Though, I will be gracious. You two, out.
You can't be serious.
Out.
Al looks at Patrick with wide eyes.
Nora has her back towards Keaton, but she looks visibly concerned. Fine, whatever you say.
He's mine. If he gives you trouble, you know.
We are in enough trouble.
Al will nod and kind of smile sweetly at Patrick and say, "You know, if he doesn't tell you what you want, you know where I am."
Now there's crew thoughts about Al, specifically what he wants to do with that scalpel and where he wants to cut him. They're not in nice places. By the way, this is for Nora, obviously.
Yeah.
Unless someone else here can read minds.
Al suddenly like these images in my head.
Can I?
Well, if you look at Jessica's face right now,
Right.
Is there any way I can read? Because don't I need to see him in order to read his mind?
Yeah.
So I
You need
basically
line
once
of
I leave.
sight. You need line of sight.
Well, if we go up to that office, if Blink can see you, you can probably see him.
Oh, good point. Yeah, let's go to the office.
Okay. All right. So it'll now just be Alicia and Patrick on the warehouse floor, while Nora and Al make their way up towards the office. You enter the office, the front office. Sorry, the manager's office, for lack of a better word, in which you see Blink and Tom and Lavin. Tom and Lavin, is there anything you'd like to say to these new arrivals?
Nope.
Okay. Don't have
Nora-
to. I just want to make sure, you have a chance.
Nora will walk in and kind of under her breath say, "My, you guys look cozy here."
Blink blinks a few times, and she says, "What's the plan now?"
We
It's all up
have
to Patrick.
Well, even if not, we have some information. We just need a radio frequency.
I see. And she crosses her arms again and turns back towards Patrick and Alicia and Jester Keaton. I'll bring us back over to the warehouse floor. Patrick. Keaton looks to you and he says, "So, man in the seat of power, huh? So tell me exactly, who do you work for, huh? Not the black market. By the way, you have this whole hierarchy thing going on. I'm thinking police? A couple of your officers there, or investigators, or wherever the fuck they are. They're certainly corrupt like cops."
Let's just say that I'm an enforcer.
Oh, an enforcer. Okay. Well, if I was a little bit dumber, I guess I'd join the cops too. Have they filled you in on the deal I want to make?
I don't really trust a word from them, so let's see your side story. Do tell.
Yeah. Before I do, any chance of you removing this new jewelry on me? My arms are starting to fucking fall asleep, and my balls still hurt pretty bad.
That would make our deal null and void, I am afraid.
Oh, I see. Afraid I'll run away on you, huh? Trust me,
Afraid? Almost guaranteed. Please, don't put me as a fool.
All right, good. He kind of looks at you warily for a moment as he mentally collects himself. And Nora, you read in his mind. This is the last bit of information you get before it fades away.
Mm-hmm.
But what he's thinking is like, all right, I'll throw in a twist this time. Something to make them really need me.
Oh, shit. She'll say under her breath and try to stir it up so she can read his mind again.
Okay, all right. Go ahead and use the ISP while I roll Jester Cameron's Save versus Psionics. And you hit a wall.
Shit.
Now, here's the tricky thing. You can attempt one more time, but right now he's not conscious because of everything he's gone through and he's distracted. He's not conscious of you trying to reach out for his mind. Sometimes when you do this, and mechanically speaking, if someone succeeds well enough, not only do they block you, but they have an inkling that it's, something's going on in their head. You can try again, but if he resists you, he might know something's going on because you're probing again and again and again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you can just wait a little while, wait for him to get distracted again or something, and then try again. But if you try immediately right away, there is a potential of him detecting someone's trying to get inside of his head. He won't know it's you, obviously, but he'll know something's going on.
All right. She will kind of clench her fists and lean over, staring at out the window, and say, "He said he's gonna throw in some kind of twist. I don't know what that means, but I've lost connection and he blocked me."
Is there anything we can do to help you reestablish it? A distraction or something?
I don't know. I'm afraid if I try again, he might know something's up.
What if he's too busy thinking about something else? I mean, I don't know how it works, but is it possible he's so distracted that he can't or wouldn't notice?
Does it matter if he knows something's up?
Yes.
I mean, we've already tortured him. I mean,
Well,
what's he gonna do? Tell somebody?
I mean,
Al
Sorry,
kind of
that's
ignores Lavin for the second and says, "Nora, can you get any thought?"
oh,
you
hold
want?"
on, hold on. What did you just say there, buddy? Nora shushes Al up. Now thinks this is happening.
I'm sorry. Should I have chosen a euphemism?
I'm sorry. What were you doing while all this was happening? You were just sitting up here on your ass watching. You think you're any better? Instead of bitching about it, why don't you do fucking something? If you have a problem with it, say it to my face. Nora's gonna turn around, like whip her head around, and she's gonna try and mind probe him again.
Jester Cameron?
Yeah.
Jester Keaton? Oh my
Yeah,
God,
whatever
no,
his name is.
Jester,
Whatever that
Jester,
guy.
Jester?
Mr. J. She's gonna
Mr.
read his
J?
fucking mind. Yeah.
Oh, wait, let me think. Well, not let me think. Let me refer to something.
Uh-huh.
Give me 2 seconds. Do, 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 do. Some Spanish flea music's playing.
Nora, do you have bonuses to this kind of thing?
No, I don't.
No,
Do.
no,
Do,
no.
do, do, do.
When
It's
it
all
comes-
him,
it
baby.
Yeah, it's all his saving throws. Yeah. Just give me almost. Just have to find the right document.
Yeah, I was just worried because I know like spellcasters can get bonuses to make it harder.
Yeah, for the most part, psionics don't. There might be a few classes here and there that might be able to do that, but for the most part, no.
Oh, come on. Where are we?
As we all
Come
wait
on.
with bated breath.
I know, eh? Tie.
Holding my breath.
Tie goes to the defender. So
It
it's
ain't
my-
13 age now.
Oh no. Son
Ruh-roh.
of a bitch.
He blocks you again, and now we're gonna shift over to the scene with Patrick and Jester Keaton. And well, what do you say? Anyways, Keaton says, "All right. Well, the deal is simple. The leaders of the Hell Riders, in which I am one of them, we have a contingency. Lack of words, if any of us goes missing, is killed, or is captured, everything changes immediately. We all have 2 backup plans. We go to the last one, and if that doesn't work, we go to another." And then his face turns pale for a second. He goes, "Are you trying to... Wait, you're not going to drug me again, are you?"
The tactics of the others are a bit cruel.
Oh, no. You're not one of those mind freaks, are you?
Patrick looks a little confused. And then like he looks like he realized something, and then he like almost for a brief second looks like he's thinking, and then shoots a look over at
Nora?
no, Allie. What is
Alicia?
Alicia, thank you. And goes, "You out," as he looks almost pleading, like has his head away from the jester.
Alicia pauses for a moment. And then she gives a brief nod, and she also heads up towards the office. Brief interlude there. You see Alicia walk up, and she's walking up the stairs, and she enters the room, and she says, "Well, I don't know what that's about, but Patrick's there by himself. The look he gave me, though, sounds like he's got something cooked up, but we better be careful. I don't want him to get too close to this scumbag.
How far is the drop from where we are? Like if someone in emergency crashed through the window,
and jumped
yeah.
it's about 12 feet.
All right. I'm gonna mute myself while I look up fall rules.
Oh, you don't look up the rules. It's simple. If someone who is non-augmented jumps from that height, they'd have to roll with the impact. If they don't roll, they might wrench their
so it'd be
ankle or something like
your fall / roll with punch thing.
bingo. Fall.
Ah.
Exactly, a fall. Bingo. Bingo, bango, bongo. All right. Go ahead,
Tom will pipe up and say, do you guys want me to go back down and, watch over Patrick, just in case?
And Alicia shakes her head and she says, it looks like he's trying to establish some sort of trust with this guy.
Okay.
Al would nod, and with his with his head down, not really looking, he'll kind of fill everyone in. He'll be like, we broke him more or less through his own fear. Patrick's there to give him hope that there's something better.
Goody.
Okay.
You broke him. He's gonna give
Nora
a weak
shoots-
thumbs up.
Nora shoots Tom a very dirty look.
Hey, glare at me all you want, but I mean,
Would you rather... She stops herself and you could see her fists clenching ready for a punch, and she stops herself.
Al, still looking at the floor, says, innocents are dying daily. We had 20 minutes at most to get information from him, Tom. What would you have done?
Who cares what he would have done? He could have stopped something. These assholes were just sitting up here, Al.
Blink pipes up. It's because we've been friends for a long time. It's because you're decent people. It's because we've gone through a lot, and it's because Al's sister is in trouble. That's why we're doing all of this. It was out of respect that we didn't do anything.
Oh, so it's out of respect that you come up here and judge us? Oh, thank you so much, Blink. I really appreciate that.
She blinks several times around. She says, you're welcome, but you're right. Next time either of you torture anyone, I will stop it.
Al looks at Blink calmly and says, I ask you the same question, Blink. What would you have done?
She turns away from you and she looks down at Patrick and she says, looks like he's handling it without the need for cutting him.
If he can't get that radio frequency, the only way to handle it is to let this man go and kill again.
what?
Can't believe
Wait,
you're
hold
fucking
on.
judging us.
We're not.
Can't believe it.
Calm down. We're not. Letting
She
him
punches
go.
the window
With how much strength?
with all of her strength. She says, "Don't
Okay,
you tell
go
me
for
to
it.
fucking calm down."
All right.
Okay, so we're gonna pause here for a second
Mm-hmm.
because I think it's important for Cameron and Patrick to speak a little bit before the window shatters.
Yep.
So we're gonna pull back there for a second. I'm gonna create a lovely little dramatic moment. This is amazing. Okay. What's going on? Drama. All right.
It's Nora. She's not reasonable, especially the angrier she gets, the more unreasonable she is.
This is true. Okay. So Patrick sends Alicia out of the room, and Jester Cameron looks over to. Why do I not even know my own characters' names anymore?
It's not
Jester
like you have 300 to remember.
Yeah, I know, but still. Okay, Jester Keaton looks over to Patrick, and he says, I was wondering why she was so quiet. All right. Because you're playing straight with me, I'll play as straight with you as possible. I knew that this was going to happen at some point. One of us was going to get caught. This whole vigilante thing, this whole taking over the black market wasn't flawless. I don't like abiding by other people's orders. So, with some leniency, I'm willing to betray the ones that I worked with. Problem is, like I said, is this contingency plan. They can't know I was captured or anything else, which means I have to attend a meeting via radio frequency over a bunch of receptor that's being bounced all over the city, across receptors across this city. And I can give you the transmission codes. I can give you the frequency. And while we're doing the meeting, you can track down the other two, Squinting Rel and the Gray Ghost. Then you'll have scooped up all the leadership. So, what I want to do is, you help me, I help you, right?
Patrick nods.
And after you're done nodding, that's when the window shatters. And you hear Nora, what did you scream out?
Don't tell me to fucking calm down or something like that.
Yeah. Don't tell me to fucking calm down. And Jester gives a audible shake in startled and surprise as just flecks of glass burst out, shards of it start to coat 10 feet below the warehouse. The entire window was completely shattered. It was made of some sort of safety glass. So once there was some structural integrity, the whole thing just blows out. What do you guys do?
You see Nora slam open the door, march down the stairs and out the door. Just walking on by, not saying anything.
Okay. Okay. All Blink is doing is blinking right now, as per her name.
Al would calmly, still looking a little ill, say, "Don't judge her too harshly. That personality is one of rage that she can't control."
Blink says, "She's not the one who started cutting him and healing him, so she'd cut him again."
You never answered my question, Blink. Innocents are dying in the streets. We need that information. Give me another option to get it in 20 minutes.
Not now, she says. As there is clearly no barrier now, audio barrier.
Oh, he's speaking
now.
very quietly. He's speaking.
I know.
Yeah.
And Blink says, "We'll talk about this later."
Al nods and says, "And I'll listen." And then with that, he just kind of leans back and closes his eyes, obviously not feeling well.
Blink rolls her eyes a little bit, and she heads on over to sit by Tom and Lavin.
Tom will remark as she's heading over to Al that, well, in a low voice, I could have sworn we were handing him over to the Lion.
She nods.
We were supposed to. That was part of the entire thing.
Al motions Tom over.
All right.
So that he can speak quietly.
He'll get up and sit next to Al.
Al will very quietly say, "They have backup plans. If he goes missing, everything disappears. If we hand him over to the Lion without getting the information we need first, we could lose all of the Hell Riders. And even if Patrick is successful, he'll be cutting a deal which lets this man get back on the street to kill again."
Hold on. I think you're getting really preoccupied with the same mentality that we had back in New Laszlo, back in the day. We don't have to solve this problem by ourselves. We have allies, and they are professionals that know how to deal with this. Within 6 hours, I am fairly confident that these guys who know what they're doing would be able to get that information out of him.
Al shakes his head. "You're forgetting one very important point."
What?
His bodyguard.
And?
If his bodyguard says anything, raises an alarm, does anything, we won't have 6 hours, Tom.
It's true.
We need that information as quickly as possible.
Yeah. I understand the gambit, but I don't understand letting him go.
I don't. Al stops. I'm not suggesting we let him go. My point is that he will cut a deal that involves that. He is incredibly resistant. He will hold out against almost any methods.
So we'll go back towards Patrick and Jester.
Yeah.
Jester watches Nora as she storms out, and a small smirk flutters across his face as he says, "You're not much of a leader. Can't even control these people." Why should I believe you'll make any sort of deal with me?
You know what? You make a good point. I probably should have never hired them. But they did get you, even though they did overstep their boundaries, so they did do the job I asked them to do.
Okay. And Jester kind of looks up at his handcuffs and he looks back to you. So what do you want me for?
You made your deal,
Yeah.
I'll make mine. So, your radio signal seems to be quite handy for what we were trying to do.
Yeah. It's a decent system. Good way for higher echelons to communicate.
Well, let me make a deal for you then. We've been looking into a lot of different things, into every aspect of all of the different investigations that are worth my attention. So, I researched you. And
Oh,
I
yeah?
think I have a particularly fine deal. In looking through your backstory, there's been plenty of dealings, terrible things you've done, or at least most likely have done.
Mhm.
But I like this little story of a man who lost his mother. Though I don't particularly like the ending. And I
Oh.
don't think you do either.
Well, stop tiptoeing around. Tell me what you think. Cops already talked to me about that. I was innocent. I had alibis. Besides, he says, it's another dead whore, right?
Well, what it sounds like is there has been many a patrons that have ordered her and she got physically abused time and time again.
You see Jester's chest heave up and down, and his face turns. That little flutter of a smile, that little cocky look, is now gone. He has frowned, and he's glaring at you, and he says, "Who the hell told you that?"
Few paperworks, few reports.
There
As
you
I
go.
said, I do have my resources. This one was a bit more. Well, you saw the results. But let's get back down to business. This
Yeah.
particular case, she seemed to have been beaten time and time again until one day she just died. Looks like investigations have already wrapped up the entire investigation. Probably was a drug overdose, just like those whores would.
He kind of looks off, kind of wistfully a little bit. He says, "I tried to be good. It's really hard sometimes, though." And then he kind of looks over to you and he says, "I never told nothing to nobody about that. You're not a cop, are you? Are
An
you a
enforcer.
spook?" An enforcer. An enforcer. So, why are you so interested in me and my little backstory, huh?
I'll
What
have to
line of
know who I'm
business?
dealing with.
Yeah, well, here I am. And he kind of gives a smile, but it's kind of more of a grimace at this point.
What do you say if we would reopen this investigation about Mother Dearest and find out what particularly really happened?
Yeah, I guess that would be pretty bad, he says. But is that why you captured me? It had nothing to do with the Hell Riders. It just had to do with a cold murder. I mean, and he pauses for a moment. Alleged murder that happened like 4 years ago. And then he closes his eyes in a very clear fuck look.
It's really odd to have a drug overdose murder, don't you think?
Listen, I've been abused by your lackeys. I don't know what I'm saying half the time. One guy kept cutting me right by my eyes. Jesus, I've never felt so much. Well, I felt pain like that before, but not recently. I'm just all scrambled up, you see. And if you're not careful, I might start forgetting these codes.
Oh, Speaking of forgetting, you want me to forget about that whole mother drug murder overdose? Oh, I can forget and soak in that camera over there as he points over.
Jester Keaton grits his teeth and he says, "All right. So that's the deal, huh? I tell you what you want to know, and you let me go, and I'm not on the hook for whatever happened to my prost of a mother. Is that the deal? You gonna cut me loose once I tell you what you want to know? I gotta be there for the meeting, of course. Right? They gotta hear my voice."
Of course.
All right, he says. "But what's to stop you the second I give you the code?" "Well, no, that's not true. You need me still." "All right. Fine. Fuck it. Uh, what's your fucking name?"
Patrick looks surprised for a moment. Thought you didn't care about me.
"Yeah, well, when I'm making life or death deals, I figure, it's good to get a name."
Patrick blinks for a moment. He goes, Nate.
"Okay, Nate. You got the keys to these cuffs, Nate?"
They're not my cuffs.
"Okay, well, show me the key so I know you're gonna uncuff me, and then I'll tell you the codes." the frequencies, the time, the exact time. They're very prompt, you know. It's a kind of a pain in the ass. I'll be glad I won't have to do that anymore.
Patrick does a brief nod and a small hand gesture and like an all right sort of gesture as he gets up and walks over to. He thinks that the mass group probably has the keys to the handcuffs.
Yeah. But
It's gonna go that way.
Since everyone can hear clearly what's going on now because there's no window, looks to Nora. Blink
She's
is
not-
already
yeah.
rummaging around in her pocket, and she'll meet you on the staircase and hand them over to you.
On the bright side, it's more breezy in there, which Al is certainly appreciating.
All right.
Patrick goes back to the chair, jingles the key. It's seemingly it's on a key ring.
All right. I dial in to channel 492. We use the encoding frequency of 24, 39, 46. You wait a few seconds. You give 4 beeps at peace to let them know that we're safe and we ain't under no duress. And then we start talking about this week's plans.
Okay. Just in case your memory is a bit foggy, I would remind you if these are wrong in any way, I will make my life's duty to make sure you're haunted by what you've done.
Al stands up, goes to the window, and stares.
There's no
at
window.
him.
Or you mean where the window used to be?
Yeah, the window frame. The window frame. And like hearing this, and stares at Jester.
Yeah, I know. Listen. First thing I'm going to do is take myself a hot shower. The second thing I do is I'm going to go to the meeting. Third thing I'm going to do is disappear. You ain't going to hear from me again. I'm done with this schming. This city, there's nothing left for it. Let the rest of the thugs fight over the scraps. I'm going to, I don't know, go on fucking vacation maybe. Who knows? Yeah. But don't feel too bad. The people in charge are way worse than me. I'm just some drug-dealing crook, right?
I've seen your papers. Don't lie to me.
What? Well. And he kind of looks up to his cuffs.
Yes. Patrick claps his hands.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everyone. That's a wrap. Come on down. We're moving. Patrick then grabs the key tightly to rejoin the rest of the group.
What the fuck? You need me. Hello? I can't radio in if I'm hanging here. Hello?
Yes. You will be released. I have some paperwork. It takes a bit to convince someone that you have somehow lost a crook.
You're gonna leave me with these assholes in the meantime?
No. Well, we'll see. Probably not.
All right. Patrick moves
Good
up
Patrick.
to join up with you guys. Good Patrick.
It's good, Patrick.
Pat. All right.
Patrick hands Blink a key with key ring that is drenched in sweat.
She puts it back into her pocket. Perhaps only making a mental note of how much perspiration is on it. Okay.
Are we in like a place that is?
No, you would if there was a window there, but
Okay.
I
Boy.
mean, you can move deeper into the office, deeper. You can actually, you can move. There's another set of stairs down from this warehouse manager's office to a more front reception area. You guys could shuffle down that way and leave Jester kind of hanging there alone.
Yeah, we could do
Or,
that.
you know, someone keep an eye on him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking somebody should keep an eye on him. Do you guys need me for this? He's gonna ask the rest of the group.
Patrick shakes his head no.
Lavin, Al?
It might be a bad idea to send me back in there.
I'll just go sit on a chair and watch him.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'll stop the recorder.
Okay. So Tom moves down back into the warehouse, stops the recording, sits on the chair there. The rest of you, is it fair to assume that you guys will shuffle up to the front reception area?
Sure,
Okay.
where we can talk.
Where you can talk a little bit more openly. All right. You do so. And Nora, you're not out in the alley, are you? You're now roaming the streets
Yup.
like an alley cat.
Pretty much.
Angry, a very angry, angry alley.
Yeah,
cat.
she might knock over a dumpster too.
Ooh. Okay. Cool. We'll get. It's okay if we
Oh.
resolve this in the warehouse before
Wait,
getting.
not a trash can, a dumpster?
No,
she
yeah.
could easily.
dumpster.
She can do that. She can do that.
Yeah, I just like the image.
She's like freaking strong. It's insane. All
Yeah,
right, so...
Don't worry about me. I'm cool. I'm cool.
Okay. All right. Cool. I didn't want to leave you out. Right.
No, it's fine.
Not right now. Okay. So in the front reception area, boom, go, Patrick and the rest at all.
Patrick stands there, like his legs spread out, his hands like kind of like he touched something really gross, and he just has his hands out. He goes, "Did I do okay?"
You did very well, Patrick. You did excellently. I'm sorry to put you through that.
Okay. So, I basically, what do you think? Should we just call in that we have him?
Just to refresh your memory, since it probably was a week or so ago, or maybe more, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. There is actually a destination, a motel, in which you will drop Keaton off of after you're done interrogating him with members of the Office of Loss Prevention. There is a drop site for Keaton.
Okay, drop site.
Yeah. To hand him back over to them, right? But they wanted you to get the first crack of both capturing him and interrogating him.
So, how do we tell him about the information that we got? Should we call in? Should we leave a note?
I don't see why we can't just meet them and give them the information we have.
Yep.
Okay. I also made a slight deal with him and wanted to see how they took that. Probably won't do it, but just to see.
Yeah, we heard. I can tell you this from what Nora told me. He's killed and will kill again if we let him loose.
Was it okay to just assume everything he said was a lie? Because that's just what I did.
I can tell you that the frequency and the meeting were true. Anything after that, I doubt the serum was still lasting, and when Nora lost connection, as I said, he was a very strong individual. I think it's right to assume everything he said was a lie.
Okay.
For the record, I'm entirely against letting him go.
Yeah. I just wanted to tell the lost people about the. It's late. Can I? Oh no, I still have to drive.
I can drive.
You can?
Yeah.
Okay.
Poor
Okay.
Patrick.
Okay. So what's the plans, my friends?
Well, we've made a deal with them. Let's go drop them off. Looks like we won't need to go pick up. Actually, we probably
Patrick-
should still go pick up that magic voice box because just in case.
Yeah, Patrick like grabs Al's shoulder as Magic turn around. I didn't know he killed her. I just knew she was dead. What happened? What? Did he actually kill her? I was.
Al will put his hand on Patrick's shoulder and say, "It would probably not have been the first time, Patrick. Not from the visions Nora told me."
Okay, yeah, no, just turn him over, I guess. And
Okay. So we can narratively we'll speed things along by sitting back and do this narratively. I just have some questions for you guys. How are you going to detain Jester Keaton? Are you gonna try and knock him out again? Are you gonna stick him in a sack and drop him off? Like right now, like how do you get? What's your plan on getting him from hanging in that warehouse to the drop point in that motel in the south side of the city?
we
Is
have
there anything-
handcuffs. We have.
Is there anything in the van to handcuff him to it, like a bar or something like that? I don't know what kind of a van we rented.
Let me think. Yeah, there'd have to be. Oh, I know. The one of the little connectors for the, what welds the seat to the actual frame of the vehicle. You could hook some handcuffs around that, no problem. He'd have to lie prone by the trunk area, but
Beauty, and then just gag him, right?
yeah, sure.
Sure.
It's your plan. Yeah.
Well, I'm saying right to these guys,
Oh,
like,
okay.
we hang up and see you gag him. Does that mean
You can gag. If we have a bag, we could put a bag over his head.
I have a sock?
Exactly.
Actually, while you guys go decide on that, someone should go find Nora. Might be best if it's Al and or Patrick or Alicia.
Not me.
Yeah, I'm
not going.
Yeah. Al can do it if no one else wants to.
Patrick's tired.
Okay, all right. So this will be okay.
What's one more dislocated shoulder?
So my only okay. So when you go out to the alley so I'm taking the plan is with Jester Keaton, you're gonna uncuff him, you're gonna physically move him to the van, you're gonna cuff him to that, and then drive and drop him off, right?
Yep.
Okay. So when you go out to the alleyway, you notice that Nora isn't by the van. So, since you only have the one van, is someone going to stay behind to try to find Nora?
Yeah, here's a question. How far is the walk to this drop-off place?
Pretty far. It's like a 20-minute drive across the city. So, hours?
Yeah, Al will stay back and look for Nora. Actually, it might be beneficial. Al's really, really terrified this guy. Having him not around might make him more cooperative, might make him less, might make him more cooperative either way. But I mean, I think it's a fair bet to say that he might be more cooperative if Al's not sitting there.
Okay.
So Al will go find her.
Okay. So this will be interesting. We'll get to that in a moment. We'll get to that, for lack of a better word, side venture in a moment. And let's just resolve Mr. Keaton. So, young cuff Jester, who seems relatively pliable, he doesn't fight or kick, especially if it's Lavin doing the unhooking, since he's a good foot taller than Keaton easily. Keaton's not a very tall guy. And he heads up to the back of the van, and he makes some snide remark about it not being any sort of registered police, vehicle that he knows of before you stuff a gag in his mouth. And he looks at you like it tastes horrible. You all pile into the van with the exception of Al, who decided to stay back so he could hunt down Nora. I'm assuming wait, never mind, Nora doesn't carry a radio, does she?
Nah, she don't.
Okay, so even trying to radio her is not the point. Won't work. So Lavin gets into the driver's seat. You do have pilot automobile?
Yeah, quick question. Isn't Bear with us? Maybe Bear can go with Al?
Yes, Bear is with you. Bear will go with Al.
Because-
Wait, is Bear with you?
Yeah, I think we piled everyone
I
and
think
all the
so,
NPCs
yeah.
in
I
that van
remember
just
Bear.
in case you shit hit the fan.
Bear's
basically.
just been
Yeah.
his really, really quiet. He's been in the van the entire time.
Just fell asleep.
Just reading a romance novel.
Yeah, like
No, not reading the romance novel, just snoozing.
like
It's
what's
late.
sad is
Hibernating.
No, he's not hibernating.
So then Al would say, Bear, come on, let's go find Nora. We'll catch up with him later.
Nora, I must warn you, even in the wilderness, I could track her out. But here, with all the smells and noises and buildings, it will be difficult. In addition, I know Nora. If she does not want to be found, she will not be found.
Al would wait until is Bear like going with him or
Yeah,
As he says,
he's giving you this nugget of wisdom
Right.
before everyone drives off.
Bear would say when they're out of hearing shot of Jester.
Don't
he'd
say what Bear would say.
I'm sorry.
You don't know him.
Okay, fine. Bear
Al-
would say there. Okay.
Al would say when he's out of hearing with Jester, he'd say, "You'll do a better job than I will, and quite honestly, it might help to see your face."
He kind of scratches the fur on his face and he goes, "Very well. I will accompany you.
Al nods and says, "Thanks."
You are welcome." Okay, so Lavin drives off with most of the individuals in tow, with the exception of Al and Bear. We will resolve that first.
Nora, when did you get in this van?
Well, and Nora, obviously.
Surprise.
Bear and Al are just like wandering through the
You
streets.
know what? She's like Cape Fear, and she strapped herself to the bottom of the van. Anyway, okay, so you drive to the location, which is just this really nondescript hotel called the Yellow Sunbeam. It looks like if there's any sunbeam on it, it's perhaps the faded sun that's on like the stucco side of the building, which has definitely not been updated as far as paint goes. But otherwise, you go to room 14B, which you are instructed to. I'm assuming you just drag Keaton along with you.
No, I think I would make him walk and make it kind of look like
Normal?
try and make it look as normal as possible. You know, like
Sure.
with the handcuffs behind him and sort of.
Oh, well, luckily it's 3 o'clock
covered it
in the
up.
morning, so
Yeah,
so
but
there
still.
aren't a lot of people watching. But yes,
I'd also,
that is good. You want to be done with the script. I get it. That's good.
I would sure thermal scan the room before we went into it,
Oh,
or knocked.
okey-dokey. All
see
right.
what we're dealing with.
All right. Anyone else want to do something? While we're just talking in general here.
All right.
or-
I really wanted to know what we were going to do with the tape.
Yes. Okay. We'll
I was
discuss
just-
what you guys want to do with the tape.
I was just gonna hand off the camera for now, and
What,
say I
to-
expect the camera back.
If there's a person there,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Unless I'm
There's
very
gotta be a person
mistaken, I
here.
heard that there will be agents there.
We're not going to leave him unattended. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
I understand how the word drop point might be
Now you don't drop humans unattended. Like that'd be just mental.
Yeah.
It's like just asking for it.
Yeah, asking for someone to run away. Okay. So wait, are you all agreed with what you want to do with the tape?
It's fine with me.
I'm cool with it. The only thing that I want to make sure to have is on the ride over, take out my my tablet and write down re-listen to the recording and write down the numbers and data and all of that for the frequency.
Okie dokie. Excellent. Okay.
Well, hang on. There's no way we can make a copy of that. Then I take it, huh? Because I don't understand
of it
of the interrogation. I see my tablet and the camera are both from space. They both are the same technology. I'm not entirely sure if we have enough time to transfer the data.
The only way it would be able to be transferred is if you had a head jack.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which Patrick does.
Because it does have a port for a head jack.
Mm-hmm.
All the other ports do not sync with the data storage devices that are here in Ishpeming.
Yeah.
Or on Earth, frankly.
So I
But
would physically have to give them the camera in order to do that. Patrick does have a head jack.
I do.
Would we have enough time to transfer the data?
Sure. It would only take a couple minutes, and it's a 20-minute drive.
Would you be willing to do that for me, Patrick?
Yes. It would probably take longer than 5, but since there's 20, Patrick could definitely do such things.
Okay, great.
There you go.
So you have a backup in... Wait. You don't have a storage...
I just have my tablet.
See, the problem is with the head jack, it allows him to... he doesn't have any sort of storage device in his head. He just has the jack, so he's able to mentally integrate with the technology, right? Whether it be a spaceship or a camera or an operating system. So he could access the data with his head jack. My mistake. I confused his cybernetic thing with what like a Borg has.
Yeah.
A bionic one, and the bionic one has like an actual storage device, like inside the old noggin, right?
Then
Out of character, that raises an interesting question. How does Tom expect to get his camera back then? If the only way for them to view it is to take the camera and view the camera.
The honor system, man.
No, but what I'm saying is giving Tom the camera back gives back the only copy of the data.
I don't know. Maybe the Office of Law Special might figure something out. You know,
maybe what they can do...
They are Northern Gun. That's true.
I mean... It's primitive, but what you can do is like you can play it, and then you can just yeah, exactly. Record the videotape.
Also, keep in mind you are giving them space age technology for free.
I was just gonna say they would probably be mega happy just to get their hands on it, look at it, forget the information on it.
They're mega happy.
Well, what should we do then? Because
this is honestly this is all out of character because Al's not there.
I'm completely fine with them taking it as long as they know I want it back.
Okay, great. Well,
it's just a perk of them, dealing with us.
Okay. Well, I'll stick us into the scene. So Lavin's going to be taking up Jester Keaton for sure. Anyone else want to go with him? Obviously, Tom will have to be there, heading over to the motel room too, because he wants to hand off the data. Patrick? You coming with, or you staying in the van? Hello?
No, I'm thinking. Patrick will probably... Does he have anything over his head? Or does he just have...
An exclamation mark?
You guys just talked about it. You didn't actually put anything over his head, but we're still in this narrative space, so if you want to put something over his head, go ahead, but do you even have anything?
I have my duster. That's really it. That I could think of.
Basically, if the answer is no, Patrick will come with.
It sounds like the answer is no, unless you guys want to put a coat over his head.
Well, the whole point of playing it cool, if you're walking around with the guy with a bag over your head, kind of...
Yeah.
Like...
Okay. All right, so Patrick's coming with too, then. Great. Is there anything you want to do to him, Patrick, before you guys mosey up the motel steps and drop him off?
No.
Okay. So, going with your guidance, Lavin, Jester kind of stands in front of you, his hands casually behind his back. You staying very close to him, so people can't see that he's handcuffed. As you guide him and everyone else up the flecked green painted steps of this old motel to door 14B. You knock, it opens, and you see 3 individuals there dressed in what appears to be casual clothes, but their looks are not surprised to see you there, rather impassive and professional. There are 2 gentlemen and 1 woman, all human, as they look to Keaton and they look to you and they say, "You're here to deliver the package. Thank you." As one of the men steps aside, as the other woman and man kind of take a hold of Keaton and sit him down on the bed. Keaton still wait, he's not gagged at this point, is he?
Yeah, he is.
Oh yeah, okay. So Keaton's still gagged at this point, makes surprise muffling noises as the woman reaches into her boot. She takes what appears to be a small taser and she tases him. He then goes unconscious like that. And they ask, "Did you interrogate him?"
Yes. We have significant information about such things, as well as a particular deal that you might be interested. We also have a few. Oh God! Oh, excuse me. It's a long night. Okay. A counter plan. So apparently they have a measure of people either disappearing, dying, captured, whatnot. They have a particular time that they radio in. At a general, unspecific, specified time, around, it had to be about 5 hours and 30 minutes from now, they'll use a radio frequency based off, and, excuse me.
Okay, and then the man's going to raise his hand. He's going to look to Lavender. Tom, can either of you explain this?
Yeah, he's supposed to check in over radio. We got the frequency. I believe our plan is to fake the voice. I look at these other 2 guys and
Yes, we have a device that will fake his voice with 100% certainty.
I see.
Or we could allow him to radio in. He is willing to radio in and tell them that everything's okay and then go into hiding. What
yeah,
hiding
I don't know about
means-
that. For all we know, he gives them, the secret code word of Banana Town or something, and they know that he's been captured. We have no idea he's even done it.
Exactly. As far as the interrogation goes, here you go, and he's going to hand over the camera. Now, over the next couple of days, I'm sure you guys will be interested in this. This is a camera from a different place, and he's going to go over how to review the footage and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
We taped the entire interrogation and all of that, all the gruesome everything. And I expect this back after you're done looking at it.
I see. We will notify head office. I'm sure they'll be in contact with you. My suggestion is that you do not do anything too rash or too hasty or too independent until you confer with them.
Okay.
You've done an excellent job in acquiring the asset, and we will review the interrogation footage. It was a good idea to record it. Now we'll know what to go by. We can use this as leverage.
Okay.
Is there anything else you wish to communicate before we end?
Well,
Yeah, can I get your name and or number so we know who we've dropped this off with?
The man who's a blonde-haired man with a blonde beard as well, very wispy looking though, gives a bit of a smile and he says, "Good call. My name is Watkins. Cody Watkins. This is Persephone." He gestures over to the woman, and this fellow is Joe Clean. The other guy raises his hand. We all
As in
know.
Mr. Clean?
No, Jocelyne. It's French.
Oh, okay.
He says, we work for the, well, I won't say it aloud, but we're on the same side.
So what, you guys aren't actually LPO, or?
We're lucky he's
Lavin,
unconscious, he says, and here I thought you were being professional. Yes, we're LPO.
yes.
Yes, I assumed your handler told you where to drop this fellow off, so unless... Never mind. We could speak forever about the possible games of espionage. Regardless, you have our names, we know of you, we have the asset. Like I said, my suggestion is do not do anything too hasty until you hear from the top.
Okay. Now,
Have a good night.
will we be hearing from headquarters within the next 4 to 5 hours so that we can prepare for the possibility of having to radio in ourselves, or will you guys take care of it?
We will take care of it. We've worked under tighter time crunches before.
Okay.
Thank you.
There is
If
also
it's a period of 5.5 hours, then we have plenty of wiggle room.
Okay. There is also one last thing. During the altercation between, well, to get the asset, we encountered a Borg and a independent contractor, which was trying to snipe my friend here.
I see.
You didn't tell me that.
Yeah. The Borg, and I'm pretty sure that Tom was there when we found out about who he worked for, right? Because otherwise I'm not going to say who he worked for. Like, he was a...
We're talking about the
soldier.
Borg?
Yeah, the Borg.
Yeah, the UUF. Yeah.
Yeah. Then Tom will mention that he was... he worked for the UUF, and that he saw at least 3 of our faces, and we will be likely targeted by him if we encounter him.
You shouldn't worry about that. As Patrick then, lazily kind of sways his arm towards you, almost touching you.
I guess, but I want to make sure they know, alright? Just in case. Other than that, you might be able to still find the guy, the sniper, the independent contractor at the Robodome. If I recall correctly, we did some medical aid and then we got the asset out.
I see. All right. We'll send it up a cleanup crew that way. One last question. You said you had a device in which to mimic this asset's voice. Is this technological in nature? Is this a voice synthesizer similar that's used in cybernetic implants?
It's classified.
Oh, really? All right, then. We'll see what the line has to say about that.
As far as I know, it is not magical, it is not technological, it is alien in origin.
All right. Thank you, he says as he promptly shuts the door. Okay. Moving over to Bear, Al, and...
I do have a question, real quick. Out of curiosity, where the camera was placed, would it have recorded the faces Al and Nora made when they weren't facing the guy, or hear their conversation, their quiet conversations?
Probably not the quiet conversation, but it definitely would have been
their faces. Okay.
If you're facing away from Keaton, you're facing towards the camera.
Okay. Yeah. Oh God, they're gonna see Al looking sick whenever he's not looking at him. All right.
Okay. All right, back to Al and Bear and Nora. Okie dokie. Any skills you want to use, Al?
Al got no skills in this area. Part of the reason why I wanted to bring Bear along.
Yeah, so I'm a roll Bear.
I can backflip
No,
No.
you can't. Don't lie.
I can.
No.
I have a 90% backflip. Thank
Not
you
as good
very
as
much.
mine. My
Well-
98 can beat your 90, mister.
I don't know why I even try.
Okay.
I don't know
Al
why
just
either.
gives up.
So I'm just thinking of a proper descriptive way here. Okay. Okay. So this is around you search the streets up and down, guided by Bear as he checks footprints in the gravel, sniffs at the air, calls out a name from time to time. It's about 20 minutes, 25 minutes or so. You've gone down, my goodness, probably the last 5 or 6 blocks thoroughly. Nothing quite yet. Bear turns to you, Al, in the dim light of one of the street lamps there. And he begins to say that, you should go up and head back to the hotel. It's tired and she'll probably meet us there. When he perks his ears a little bit and he swivels his head towards the north. And you yourself hear this soon after. A light song sung by a female voice, which you do recognize as Mila's, Ellie's, Nora's, that person. Everyone's favorite crazy. Singing like a kind of a jaunty little folk tune by the sounds of it. A cappella, though, of course.
Does it sound cheerful?
It does.
Al will think to
Wait,
himself.
it does? It looks to Criana. It does, right?
It does.
Okay. Al's gonna think to himself, well, that's not Nora. I'm assuming Bear would hear this before Al would.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you make your way towards the noise.
Sure.
Okay. And as you turn around the corner, nestled in between 2 high-rise buildings, well, they're not high-rise buildings, they're tall buildings, about 7 stories tall apiece. They seem to be kind of squat apartment buildings of you would say like maybe a middle-class design, and you're definitely out of the poorer, rougher areas of Ishpeming. This is a nice residential area. And it seems that these folks have, in between these 2 buildings, is kind of this empty lot. And instead of it being completely abandoned or having garbage in it, which you've seen in some of the rougher areas of the neighborhood, there's a small community garden. And since it's spring, the first, roots and shoots and plants have begun to bud and grow. Sitting right in the middle of this blossoming garden, sitting right there, right in the dirt, is your friend, Nora. Although this Nora is happily humming and singing to herself and kind of looking around, and I'll take the rest off to her. She's now been reintroduced.
Well,
Al,
she doesn't notice you, right? She's too busy
Okay.
enjoying herself.
Al would approach and say,
Bear would be by your side, but go ahead and speak.
Ellie?
Oh, and she'll kind of get up and like pat herself off. Hi, Al. Sorry, I found this nice little spot and I thought I'd just enjoy the view for a bit. Ain't it pretty?
Al would look. What's the view?
It's dark. There's some residential lights coming in from the buildings. It is like it's a quaint little garden. That's just beginning to grow.
Al would nod and shrug a little bit and say, yeah, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. How are you, though? You weren't looking too good before.
I'll be
You
fine.
know. Yeah. Ellie kind of like her eyes kind of widen, like, ugh. I mean, Al, I don't know if we're really cut out for this. This sort of thing, like, I understand we're the good guys and we help out people. And I know we're doing this for your sister, don't get me wrong. But I don't know, remember the days with the storytellers where we just kind of traveled with them and then we would just go out and do our own adventure? Wasn't that a lot more fun?
Absolutely.
I mean, no offense, you're not really good at the whole torturing thing. You look pretty sick. And like I guess that's a compliment. Like I wouldn't be offended. Like Ellie's like her eyes starting to converge. I wouldn't be offended if saying that. But like
Ellie, I take it as a compliment.
Oh, okay, cool. Anyway, I sort of got lost when Nora was getting all angry and stuff, and
Is she okay?
I don't know. She like her shoulders go up. She'll be fine. I mean, it's like poking the beast, If you keep poking, she's just gonna just bite even harder.
Al reflexively rolls his shoulder. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I thought you would. But no, I mean, I think there's a lot of opportunity out there for us, but I think it maybe like she kind of like her face contorts trying to think of the way to word it. Maybe we just do our own thing. Like, I mean, it's nice to help out people when we can, and your sister, don't get me wrong, we're going to get your sister. But like
Al shakes his head and kind of sits down and says, this wasn't about Jalea.
If there's anything I've learned, and believe me, I've learned a lot, is that you just can't save them all.
Al nods. He goes, no, I know. We can't save them all. But tonight, we have a chance to save some. And that, to me, is worth almost any price. Even my happiness.
Yeah, that's not good, Al. Like, Ellie, like, you are who you are. And if it's something that goes against you, you shouldn't do that. I mean, do you really want to be like Nathan? Is that really, truly what you want, to sacrifice your happiness so you can... He believed he was doing good, and look how he turned out. Spoiler warning, he didn't turn out super great. He got sploded.
Sorry. He did get sploded.
Al is quiet for a long time, and he says, I wish that we could go back to just the endless storyteller's time, but for better or worse, I was trained with these skills, and I feel like if I don't use them to help people who desperately need it, I'm being selfish.
Well, no, I mean, like, you can use these skills, but you can use them that's not gonna, like, give you crippling depression, Like, there's all... there are alternatives. I mean, I don't know what they are right now, but we can think about it. So if this time happens again, we don't have to do the same thing. And honestly, I mean, I understand that the others were upset, and I don't blame them, but I can kind of understand with Nora that, maybe they could have done something. Things could have been different, but they just left it to us, and that's their thing, I'm not going to fault them for that, and I'm not going to fault you either, Al. You thought you did what you do, but I'm just saying, now that we know that maybe it's not what you should be doing or you want to do, that maybe you should... Her eyes are just like fully just staring in the center of her nose.
Al will stand back up. Still not sure like if this is a situation where he should cut in or not. And then he will just say, I'm happy they did what they did. I want friends like them. And yes, maybe there's better ways to do it. Unfortunately, I was
You were in a corner. No, you were in a corner. You were in a corner and you had a series of skills, Al. And that's what you did. You used those series of skills in order what you thought would help the situation. And it, I mean, it might have helped. I'm not sure. I don't know how things would have gone differently. I can't, what's done is done. Am I right? But like, I'm just saying, Al, if it's going against what you believe in, there's no price. Like, it's not worth it,
Al shakes his head. You don't understand. I've never gone against what I believe in.
Al, don't say I don't understand. Come on.
Okay,
Come on.
I'm sorry. Perhaps I should clarify more. I didn't go against what I believe in. I believe that what I did was horrible but necessary, and it's better I did it than someone else.
That's silly, Al. That's super silly. Do you hear yourself? That's so silly. Al, listen to me. Come sit back down.
I'll sit back down.
Now, you're making a lot of assumptions here that if you didn't do it, someone else would do it and they would be much worse with it, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. But the thing is like, you don't have to sacrifice your own morals just so we can progress. There are alternatives. And I'm only saying this, I'm not trying to be a big old bee. I'm just doing this because I can see it's really bothering you. Do you understand where I'm coming from? I'm
do.
your friend, Al, and I'm telling you that if this is bothering you that much, it's not the way. Regardless whether times have changed, blah blah blah, whatever. You have a set of skills, whatever. I don't care, Al. If you don't want to be Nathan, you don't have to be Nathan.
I agree. I would like to find other ways.
Cool. Good talk.
And scene. Just kidding. And scene. No, but sir, do you guys have anything else you want to talk about, or do you want to?
No, maybe something like eventually, like it's cold. Maybe we should get back to the hotel.
Yeah, you're right. This dress is not very warm, she says, looking at her prostitute dress.
He kind of like looks up and down real quick. Like he hasn't been focusing on what she's wearing, obviously. And he's like, I guess. I mean, you look good.
Al, please. I'm a thespian. I don't even know what that means. I think it means I like women. I don't know. Let's go.
Al like looks confused. And then he just shrugs and says, all right, taxi. Taxi.
All right. This is interesting. The first taxi, there are still taxis around, or you can go to an info terminal to call one. But the first one comes by, slows down. When he sees both Al and Bear, he kind of just passes you by and pretends he doesn't see you. The second one, though, driven by a DB, this sounds so silly, but they have like this really like frog-like skin. They're humanoid, like a head and no hair on them, on the head, of course. 2 hands, 2 arms, right? Although they only have 3 fingers on each hand. They have a human-looking face, human-looking eyes and mouth. They have no nose. They have no hair on their body at all. And they're a combination of like orange and green, like orange with like these dark green spots. And like I mentioned before, their skin is almost amphibian-like. And he drives you off to the back to your hotel, in which you, I'm assuming, reconvene with the rest of the group. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I would say, well, normally this Al doesn't really show much effect one way or the other, but after everything he's gone through tonight, that first taxi, it just makes him really sad.
Gotcha.
Ellie will make funny faces at Al through the taxi ride.
Delightful.
I think it would make him laugh.
That's good. That's good. Patrick, Tom, Lavin, when you guys get back to the hotel, ahead of Al and Ellie and Bear, you will get a radio message from August. And it'll kind of be open to the frequency to everyone. It isn't to one specific person. So if you're interested in this conversation, you can contribute via the radio. If you're not, you can just turn it off. But August will say, just touching base, still running in some more information about this Jester Keaton fellow. But I just thought I'd check in here, make sure everything was all right. The radio has been pretty quiet the past half an hour or so.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. if your information links up with this, it looks like the man's mother that you asked for information on may have been killed by him himself.
Oh, I see.
Unverified, but I mean, if you see any connections, it might be a bit stronger to follow those.
I see.
We no longer particularly need to completely look through that, I think. I'm a little tired, so I'm not sure how clear I am.
I see. Well, considering your current rate of fatigue, then, I do want to ask, anyone there, have any of you been followed recently?
Not to my knowledge.
No.
Oh, I see.
Oh, unless you count that Borg.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. We'll put a pin in that right now. I'm talking more of something a little bit more subtly. Men, women, perhaps?
That wasn't subtle.
No?
No.
Oh, okay. There was an incident at the hotel here. Shall I debrief you now or in the morning?
I'd like to hear this right now. This could be really important.
Yes, well, that's what I was concerned about too, and I'm glad you're taking this seriously, Mr. Planter. At around 8 o'clock this evening, soon after you guys left to make your preparations for your mission, for lack of a better word, I was called up from the reception area of the Ishbiming Arms Hotel saying that I had a guest waiting for me. I asked who it was. It was apparently a woman in her early 20s or so, dark hair. Apparently, she had an appointment with me. I don't recall making any sort of appointment, so I asked some questions. I talked with her directly, and frankly, the things that she said could make a sailor blush. She kept calling me Augie. I thought she had the wrong name, the wrong number, but she was very, very insistent that it was I was supposed to talk to, and she became rather commanding as well. I refused. She mentioned that she came in from honest hearts before she departed. I was concerned since that whole hack was at the last minute and frankly a little rushed. I made some small technical errors and I was afraid that we were being tracked. Perhaps they tracked the signal all the way back here. And if Honest Hearts was aware of it, then maybe this Mr. K was aware of it, which means maybe the Hell Riders or some other agency sent someone here to, do something to me. Awful, I'm sure, and very painful. So thankfully, the Ishbiming Arms Hotel has excellent security. So when I made it very clear that I had no interest of her coming up into my room, she departed. She had a few coarse words to say, but other than that, that was the incident. So I just wanted to make sure to see if anyone else was following you around. I know things have been rather tense lately with all this dealing with the Office of Loss Prevention and this skullduggery. I figured, better safe than sorry.
That
you're gonna get me blacklisted from the Lonely Hearts, man.
Yeah, I was just about to mention.
You're gonna hear August. Did you say that in character, Lavin?
Oh yeah.
August is gonna start staring on the phone. He goes, well, what the hell do you mean?
I mean that sounds a lot like the because we had to place an order. That sounds a lot like the order we made.
Got to be kidding me.
Although I could have sworn. I mean, I didn't cancel it. Weren't you gonna cancel it, Lavin?
No, I thought you were gonna cancel it.
Oh,
I see. Oh, I see. August. I see how it is. Both of you forgot to. I see. Well,
I'm going to bed.
I'm sorry if we made you uncomfortable, man.
No.
After Patrick.
I am not uncomfortable with that sort of business. I am a man of the world. I understand how things work. We'll just chalk this up to forgetfulness, I suppose, and go on with that. I'm going to get a little bit more shut-eye, of course. If you require anything else from me, please let me know. I'm sure we will have another meeting here soon.
Cool. And that's it from me.
Yep.
Okay, so you all reconfer at your hotel. Before I move the scene along, because you are going to have a visitor, before I move the scene along, is there anything you guys want to talk to in or out of character or do specifically? I know Patrick wants to go to bed, so I'm assuming he's going to hit the hay in his room ASAP. Is that correct? I'll take Piff's silence as a yes.
Ellie's
I'm going
gonna,
to bed.
Ellie's gonna make sure he sleeps okay, so she'll follow after.
Ah, Jesus.
All right.
Tom's gonna take a shower, then go to bed.
Okay.
If there's some place I could get a drink before going to bed, I think that's what Lavin would do.
Ooh.
I know it's
3
late.
o'clock in the morning in Ishpeming? Well,
Not
it's
too
a
far.
big
It's only
city.
halfway across the city, but
Yeah, I don't want to be halfway across the
What
city.
about
You
a
know what? We'll
minibar
make it.
in the hotel room?
Unfortunately, that's more of a modern thing. And although in the Ishpeming is a modern city, but there's some customs that they just don't do anymore.
plus aren't we in like a dive motel or something?
Yeah,
If I recall, like a
it's
budget.
medium range. It's a budget. It's a medium range budget hotel. So, the mini bar is maybe something. Anyway,
There's a Snickers in it, half eaten.
You
Brought to you
that
by
with you.
Sneakers. Sneakers?
Sneakers. You know what? We'll just let me not hum and haw about it over. If you want something within the past few blocks, there is not. I was going to give it a 25% chance, and you rolled 28.
Okay, well then I would
But
try to go to. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
but there are some transients on the street, some ne'er-do-wells, one might say, youths, ranging from the ages between 16 and maybe 20 years old, a gang of them, probably about 6 or 7 of them or so. They all have brown bags in their hands, and they're drinking, and they're causing all sorts of juvenile mischief, mostly just cursing and horsing around and smashing bottles and stuff like that.
Okay. Nah, I'm too tired for that. I don't think I would. I don't think Lavin would go for that.
To get liquor from them? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, so no drink for you, unfortunately. But, sorry. Before I go into the butt part, anything else anyone wants to role play? I know what I said.
Sorry, you said butts. I had to laugh.
I know.
Well, I think
Mm-hmm.
Lavin would be having a hard time sleeping.
Okay.
So.
Understandably. I'll have adrenaline. Anything else anyone wants to do or say before I move things forward?
No. I think Al would probably have had a hard time sleeping, but instead of sleeping, he is going to use Lee's teachings and meditate instead.
I was gonna say dance
to regain health because meditation acts as sleep, right? If I'm correctly.
Yes. Meditative trance can refresh the body similar to sleep. Yes.
So he's going to do that because it's probably easier to do that than sleep right now.
Okay. Well, actually, it's not.
Okay, then.
In order to meditate properly in the game PPE, you have to be completely calm and centered. It sounds if you're too restless to sleep, you're probably too restless to be calm and centered, right?
Yeah, I think so. Like, as someone who doesn't meditate on a regular basis, my only thought was that I'm
thinking if your head is filled with images and thoughts and concerns, and you can't even sleep, and that's just closing your eyes and falling unconscious, how are you going to reach a meditative state with that going on in your head? You know?
True.
Yeah, I've watched Avatar. That's a thing.
Well, Al's going to try. I don't know if there'd be I'm not saying he's so disturbed that he just can't, but it might take him a few tries.
Sure. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll be fair about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll say you can meditate, but it takes you about a half an hour to get into the right headspace.
That seems right.
So it'll affect how long you meditate, but that's fine.
Okay.
Anyone else? Anything else?
No.
Okay. Good stuff. So we're going to start with Lavin, since he's having a hard time sleeping anyway. You hear a knock on your hotel room door, Lavin.
Thermals.
You see a figure, humanoid shaped, definitely has the heat signature of a flesh and blood person, standing outside your door, one arm on their hip, the other in their pocket, you're assuming, because it's right by their side. They're approximately 5 foot 5 inches tall. Thermals, and that's about it. The rest of it's
Can't
just
can't tell if it's a guy or a girl. Sounds like a girl.
I don't think thermals can really do that.
Okay, I would walk, or Lavin would walk over to the door,
Mm-hmm.
and he would say,
And you hear Victoria Sandler's voice say, "Excuse me?"
"Oh, no, I just open the door."
You open the door and you see Sandler in her regular face, dark hair. She says, "Can I come in?"
Sure. Not much to look at, and I'd start straightening up stuff that's, I'm assuming, all over the room.
She says, "Don't worry, I'm not going to be staying for very long. I just came here to give you your payment," she says, as she hands over a cred chip to you. Sure enough, the cred chip does read 100,000 credits.
Well, that's the best news I've had all night. What's this all about?
She says, "We have managed to review your information, or members of our organization have reviewed the information, and I just got a call from the Lion a little while back. Came straight here to give you your payment. They are extremely satisfied with the capture of Clive Keaton, in addition to your interrogation. Although, to put in his words, rough around the edges, it is very usable. In fact, it's been able to us to adhere to a strategy in which to optimize our apprehension of the rest of the Hellrider leadership. You have played an integral part in that, and if it is not too late, since time is briefly of the essence, perhaps since you have better rapport with this group than I do, perhaps you could rouse them and have them meet here, or perhaps a slightly cleaner hotel room, so we can properly debrief."
Sure. And then Lavin would walk down the hallway, like, banging on everyone's door.
When you got to Patrick's room, Ellie would open the door and go, "Shh."
I wouldn't even be there because I'm just walking down the hallway banging on each door that applies.
And she'd be like, "Oh, I guess it was nothing," and close the door and go back.
You guys are going to make this tough on me, aren't you?
Yes.
How dare you play in character, you assholes?
Tom will just open his door, kind of lazily go out, and see Lavin. Tom is basically just in some shorts, a shirt, and the Tyrath ropes.
Is he
And
doing the
that's
thing
it.
where he's like stumbling around because he's so tired? Like,
Yes, he's doing that. And then he's just gonna start following Lavin, going, "What the hell, man? What do you want?"
So I would repeat this until I managed to get everyone in the same place and be like,
just go up and down the hallway.
VS wants to meet somewhere. Should we go to August Hotel, rent another hotel, make her pick a place? What's the plan?
Well, first things first, Bear, Alicia, and pretty much all the NPCs are aroused. Alicia is the slowest to get out. The question is, well, Al, Patrick, and Ellie, because obviously Ellie has told you to hush and then close the door, so I don't think they're just going to come along. I think there might have to be a little bit more work involved. And what does Al do when he hears his door? You're in the midst of you've just, this is the best thing, Al.
Oh no.
Like, you just are 10 minutes, you finally got everything out of your head. You know, you're breathing the way Lee has taught you. You're clearing your mind. You can sense now the mystical energy around you, and you know, you reattuning yourself to it, and then thump 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 on your door.
Al would open his eyes, sigh heavily, and say, "Yes."
You see the back of Lavin as he's going down the hallway, moving to the next.
Oh no,
floor.
Al didn't open the door. He just answered yes.
Oh, then there's nothing.
Nothing. Yep.
Al
And-
would.
And then probably a couple of minutes later, you'll hear again, knock, 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 knock.
Yep.
Yeah, he wouldn't wait minutes. He would, when he hears nothing, he'd sigh again, get up, put on his jacket, and then walk out. Looking around.
Okie dokie. You see a bleary-eyed Zoe look around, and she'll say out shortly, and she'll say, "What is this all about, Lavin?"
Oh, Victoria wanted to talk to us.
So
Told me to wake you guys up. That's what I'm doing.
You're a very
God.
literal man, aren't you, Lavin?
Sometimes.
What room is she in?
My room. You don't know my room?
Yes, I do. It's the fourth on the side there. Very well. And she begins to make her way, as does Bear, as does Alicia. Blink emerges from Tom's room, falls down there too.
So I'd have to go back to, because everyone's accounted for except for Nora. Is that?
Ellie and
Yes.
Patrick.
And Patrick,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So I'd have to go back down there and knock on the door, and if they're the last ones, then I'd wait.
Shh. Oh, hi, Lavin.
No, there's no shh. You need to get up.
Shh, you gotta lower your voice a bit. Patrick's sleeping. Well, he was sleeping. Wait, maybe he's still sleeping. Ellie looks over.
He just turned. He's still asleep.
Good. Let's let him sleep. He's had a rough day. And Ellie will close the door. They grow up so fast, don't they?
He needs to be awake now.
Why does he need to be awake? It's nappy time. In fact, you should be asleep, mister. It's awfully late.
But we have to talk
Or
to
early.
people about the stuff where they.
I'm listening.
mean-
She's slowly opening the door. Go on, continue.
Can
All the way.
I open? Wait. Are you inside the door? Like, is there some way I can?
She just went. She went back in the room, going and then just starts slowly closing the door. Continue going
Can I just stick my face in the door and be like, Patrick?
What?
Patrick, I gotta get up.
Our guy's here, girl.
Time
We
is
gotta go
it?
talk to her. Come on.
It's
Who do you need to talk to?
I know. Here, Patrick. Ellie will go over and pick up Patrick and carry him.
Well, you could do that pretty easily. Like, do you carry him like threshold style?
Yeah, just like I just cradle him, just pick him up, be like, "That's
Aw.
okay, Patrick."
That's adorable.
He would probably be startled at first, and then just kind of go like, there's this. Sure.
What's really funny about this is if you think of the height difference between Ellie and Patrick.
Yeah, his feet are just dangling.
Yep. But all right, you go over to the room. Miss Sandler's kind of sitting on one of the chairs there, and she stands up as people enter. She has the doors closed behind as she'll look over towards Ellie and the groggy / partially conscious Patrick, and she'll say in a crisp professional tone, I know it's late, and I know you've all been through quite a bit, especially what the tape has shown, but unfortunately I will need your absolute attention in regards to this next part.
Put me down.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, your feet are already kind of touching the floor. She kind of scoops him so he's not down.
Surprisingly enough, Patrick's actually not that tall. I think he's like, was it 5'9" or 5'7"?
Yeah, Ellie's like, oh, I guess Ellie's not that much shorter then. She's like 5'5".
I see. Victoria Sandler continues as she paces slightly back and forth in front of the round table that's in Lavin's room. That probably has like a few whiskey bottles, empty whiskey bottles on it or some such. If that's a fair assumption to make, Lavin.
Yeah,
Okay.
like dirty dishes and so
And
it's
yeah,
portable sty.
as she says, the information that you provided is significant, and we've decided to deal with Mr. Keaton in a very particular way. Although your approach to him wasn't what we expected, we've been able to capitalize on it. He thought that you were police, corrupt police specifically, so we made him assume that lie, and we stepped in as the Office of Loss Prevention. We have quite the bit of reputation involved, and he was extremely pliable at that point. I'm here to say that your task has been successful severalfold. We've been able to test out the intelligence of your informant, the information that he provided. This was clearly not any sort of trap in which to ensnare you. Instead, it appears to have been reliable information for us to get a man who's been extremely elusive the past few months. In addition, not only did you capture him, but you managed to get important information on the Hell Riders. Although it is disconcerting that there is potential to force them to reorganize and go underground, that's not what Lionel wants. He wants to remove them completely, which means we will need to move quickly. We have several teams dispatched already, and including an expert technical communications team in which to track these radio signals that this Mr. Keaton claims to have. You, however, have been identified already, possibly by an associate, which means we do not suggest you take part in the actual hunting down of the other two leaders of this group. In addition, he alluded to a final head, a she, although he mentioned he didn't know her name. This we assume, or we are not assuming, but we are musing right now that this might be the financier, the individual who's actually pulling the string, so to speak, the agent of this opposing government or corporation that's trying to undermine our city. So I've been told to communicate to you two things. The first is that you've done excellent work, and your assistance in this has provided us with great resources in which to dispatch this threat. Secondly, we may use you in the future, or we may ask you in the future, to use a better word, to assist as a part of a strike force when we take the final blow against the Hell Riders. But right now, your exposure is just too great in order to take these next few steps. Do you understand what I mean by that?
I was worried about that.
That's all right. We need to rotate field operatives all the time because of this very same reason, and not everyone has the same implants that I do. However, you can still be of great assistance. The first is continuing to cultivate this informant of yours. They might have more information or learn more information from there. Since they seem to only trust you and do not wish to meet us due to their concerns, then we wish that you act as a go-between and hopefully perhaps evoke enough trust where you could create a face-to-face meeting with not myself, but perhaps maybe even the Lion himself. The Lion understands. He's gone through the reports personally and understands just by the meticulous nature of this person is very likely that they are a perfectionist. They arrange their data in specific rows. They probably are quite paranoid as well, and they might be suffering from some mild schizophrenia, perhaps, or some sort of disorder, since their information is extremely mechanical in nature, if you know what I mean. Even the way they were. I say you hit the nail on the head there. Regardless, we understand that an individual like this needs to be held with kit gloves. So that's how you can assist us first. Second of all, the agent at the drop point mentioned that you had a alien voice synthesizer. Is that true?
Facepalm.
Sort of.
I see. Do you have this on you? Would you be able to demonstrate it to us? That we could utilize this, perhaps.
I'd have to get it from Behemoth.
I see. Well, I can escort you to the Behemoth very, very quickly. We do have rapid transportation, and we wouldn't have to worry about going through any security checkpoints if you stay with me.
We would also need one of our people with you at all times.
Why is that?
We've had problems with the Northern Gun in the past trying to
We've
copy
never
our
tried
technology.
to steal from you.
No, but we're building trust, remember?
Yes, we are.
We are not exactly comfortable. And he'll look around at the others, just handing over alien technology.
Very
I
well.
wouldn't
If you're
hand
not
it
comfortable, then you
over.
can simply refuse the request.
Well, here's what I can do. What this thing is I it's it I you give me somebody, you stand them in front of me, and I touch this thing to them, and then I think about Jester's voice, and then until I touch the item to their chest again, they speak in that voice. There's nothing
So-
that can be done to change it.
This sounds magical. Is this magic?
From what I've briefly looked through, it seems to be a mixture of both technology and magic.
Oh,
But-
techno-wizardry.
Sort of.
If I'd have to guess, something like that. As
But
Patrick
not-
then lazily waves one arm.
Not in the conventional
Gee.
means, because you don't require fuel to power it, if you get what I mean.
She says only vaguely. She brings her knuckles to her chin as she thinks for a moment. Very well. No, there's absolutely no need for you utilizing that device. We'll go with a more reliable secondary method. We'll use Jester himself. Very well. You, Mr. Planter, you have been personally reimbursed for your contract, and in addition, the funds that you set up with yourself, Miss Wedgwood. She gives a nod. She says, "We have made a deposit into the accounts in regards to this." She says, "Well, is it fair to assume we will allow you to keep the radio frequencies and the radio that we provided you, in which to contact us once you garner some new information? But I just wanted to say thank you. We admire your professionalism, and we look forward to future cooperation. And soon, once the Hell Riders are dealt with, our only concerns can be monetary ones, trade, really repairing that bridge between the two of us."
That
Does that
sounds
sound?
fantastic. And he's going to give a weak
agree.
thumbs up.
She gives a thin, satisfied smile. Well, I will leave you to your rest then. Take care.
I have a question, if you don't mind.
Of course. Please.
How long are you going to be essentially benching us?
I wouldn't say that, Tom. Think of
Well,
it as a well-deserved rest.
yeah,
Like
I'm
the
just
one that we
curious,
should
like,
be having.
should we be expecting a phone call in like 3 days or a week or a month or whatever?
She gives a smile. She says, "Unfortunately, this is not like I guess you could say, sports team or other sorts of recreational facilities where we know a way in which to cycle you in. The situation here is extremely fluid. We need to first identify and capture this squinting Rel and this Joseph Gray, this gray ghost fellow. Once they are captured, we'll have a better picture of the situation. Once we have a better picture of the situation, we'll see how you can fit in it. may I still assume that you are interested in following this all the way through, dismantling the Hell Riders bit by bit? I assure you, we are on the... I don't want to be too optimistic, but we are on the cusp of just wiping them completely clean from this city. And we're not talking about a matter of days. We're talking about a matter of hours.
Well, I have a question. A matter of hours. Maybe I don't have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm currently on a daily contract. Is that
Yes.
continuing or is that ended?
She pauses for a moment. As of now, it will continue.
Okay.
She says, I'm staying optimistic, but we at the Office of Loss Prevention analyze information quickly, and we act extremely quickly.
I do have a request.
Mm-hmm.
If and when you're successful in hours or days, if it need be, could you let us know so that we know that it was a
course.
success?
Of course. Of course. If we, like I said, you have shown extreme skill, both in acquiring individuals and, frankly, in combat. We could definitely use individuals, trusted individuals such as yourself, when the final strike comes. So if everything gets cleaned up quickly without the need for something like that, then of course we'll let you know. At the very least, we have to let Mr. Planter know that his contract is over. But she says, just don't go too far away.
Oh, must be slightly confused then. I thought you said you're within hours of wiping them out.
She says, it depends on how the other two, it depends on how pliable they are. It depends
Understood.
on what information they give us. If they turn over nearly as quickly as this Jester Keaton, then yes, it's a matter of hours. If they decide to go out in a blaze of glory, then that'll make things a little bit more difficult.
Well, I
But
certainly
I've
could
seen
use...
situations like this before. Dominoes being knocked over bit by bit. And it normally is resolved in hours.
Well,
At
I
least by
certainly
us.
don't have any plans of going anywhere.
Excellent.
I do have one question. Patrick has his eyes closed. It looks like they're being squeezed closed. So, excuse me for my frankness. My manners must have left me. The robot. I'm assuming that tracking him went smoothly, but since I've heard nothing about it, I'm slightly concerned about a large robot man hunting us down. Do you have that under control?
She purses her lips a little bit and she says, oh, give me a moment. She doesn't say give me a moment. I'm just saying give me a moment.
Okay.
Because I want to address him by his actual name. So I just have to open up the right document. Because for some reason, I always keep his name in like my notes from 3 sessions back. And it never, every time I try to find him, I should just write him. There he is. Brentley Hood of the UUF. Okay. Well, now everyone's BRB. Although, Lavick can hear. Ellie can. It's no big deal. I'll continue. She says, Brentley, unfortunately, she says, we do not currently have visual confirmation on Mr. Brentley Hood. However, when he does show up, if he does show up, we will send a well-equipped team in which to question and possibly detain him. Right now, however, she says, we're interested in the leadership. That's how we typically take these things down. We cut the head off and then we move down and we clean up the remnants. But the decision makers, the financiers, the planners, the tacticians, they're the heart of the Hell Riders. And so they go first.
Understood.
from my understanding, this Mr. Brentley Hood is hired muscle. So if he's smart and he's like any other mercenary, he'll find another market for his goods. If he's loyal and causes a problem, then I suggest you keep your heads down. Be careful. If you require any sort of assistance or backup, you have the emergency radio channel. We will lend as much and as quick assistance as we can.
Patrick, now with eyes open, will groggily nod to her.
Oh, I trust the camera was good.
Yes, she says, we're currently looking into a way of retrieving the data from the camera. Once that has been completed, we will make sure to return it to you as per your request.
Okay.
And she looks over towards Al. We do not steal technology. We buy it. We acquire it. We incorporate it, or we design it ourselves.
Al doesn't give a response, yeah.
Okay. Well then, I will be off. Enjoy your rest. Be careful. And keep your fingers crossed that this Jester Keaton is an example of the leadership of the Hell Riders. Big words, but when the foot is held to the flame, spills his guts.
Cool.
And with that, she will depart, closing the door behind her. So once again, we can welcome back, by the way, Miss Criana and Mr. Lavin, even though I know you could hear us, Spiral.
Hi.
We're kind of in a bigger narrative sense. I know you're probably going to wait to hear from the Office of Loss Prevention, but that doesn't mean you guys can't do anything in the meantime. With the exception of probably having at least some hours of shut-eye to get some rest after the night's escapades. What are your plans as a group moving forward here? I know we're in a pretty open, wishy-washy space right now, so if you need any more information from me or guidance, please let me know.
Well, it's
You
getting.
do always have this. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was about to say, you do have a standing appointment with Z around noon every day or so. But once again, that's pretty flexible too. But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
It's getting pretty close to Tom's birthday. But I would not mind holding off until this entire thing is set in stone before doing the whole sleepy sleep thing.
Gotcha.
For the day or whatnot, I mean, Al, other than a promised conversation with Blink, which he takes seriously,
We can roleplay that.
yeah, he'd
When
probably
time comes.
just relax, meditate, and I mean, he had a bad night, so just relax. He has no plans for the day, basically. Oh no, wait. Other than verifying that that elf is still safe.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah, we haven't checked on her in a while.
Yeah, I know, right?
Damn.
Cynthia.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll get to that too. That's good. Anything else from you guys?
Lavin would probably, because now he's off duty, go to the bar that was open halfway across town.
It's not halfway across town now.
Oh, whatever.
Ishpeming, there's plenty of bars. You'll find one just a couple blocks away. It just closes at 1 o'clock in the morning, right?
Oh, I wanted to go like right now. It's like we just won.
it's
like you know, we gotta go celebrate 4 in the morning.
Oh, yeah, there is an all-nighter, but yeah, that is actually across town. Does anyone want to go with Lavin?
I have a date with a pillow. So no.
Patrick is too tired to do anything.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
The only other thing I can think of moving forward, since I assume you're asking for next session, would be
Oh, no, not for next session. We still got about half hour, 40 minutes or so. We're gonna resolve some things, but I just need to. I don't want to tell you guys what you want to do next, right?
oh, okay. Well, I still remember that thing from Gold,
Oh yes,
the bratty little kid.
Gold. Yes, the bratty kid. True. But we're gonna. I got one more hook to line you guys here in a moment.
Okay.
So you're not gonna? Are you gonna do Z's meeting or no?
We probably should, but other
You
than
don't
that,
have
the
to.
next day.
Don't feel like you have to. Yeah.
Well, it would be nice to at least let him know what's going on. I think that
Mm-hmm.
he's entitled to know since he has spent so much time and effort doing this investigation too.
It's true. He needs to optimize.
Lavin's always for meeting Z.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
But other than that, as far as Tom's concerned, he's just going to relax.
Wonderful. Then we'll do things in order. We'll do the Blink Owl information. We'll have Lavin and Al check on Zenthia. Then we'll have the meeting with C. Sound good?
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
And then we'll probably wrap up the session. Sound gravy?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yay. Okay.
Sounds groovy to me.
Okay. So maybe in the morning after you guys have had some rest, Blink will knock on Al's door.
Al would say, "Come in."
She blinks a few times and comes on in, crosses her arms, and she says, believe we were in the middle of a discussion before things were interrupted.
Yeah, she'd find Al like sitting on his bed with his back against the wall, meditating.
Mhm.
And he'd open his eyes and say, "Yes, is here good? Would you like to go get a drink?" Or
She says there's no need for a drink. The cooler heads definitely help, but I stand by what I said. You torture anyone else again, and I will stop you.
Al motions for her to have a seat,
She sits down.
and Al
Crosses
says,
her legs.
"I don't. I, in a weird way, I suppose, appreciate that sentiment. I did what I felt I had to do to save lives, to get information in a very short amount of time. If I knew other ways, I promise you I would have used them."
She shrugs and she says, "You asked me what I would have done." She says, a lie never really hurts anybody, at least not physically speaking. You could have deceived him.
Al says, "In my
What to
training,
do? Yes.
in my training, lies are incredibly effective, but usually require trust and usually take time to build."
Well, she says. And in my level of training, I learned that you put a knife to someone's eye, and they'll tell you anything they want to make the pain stop.
Al nods. "Absolutely.
So,
Unless they're under a truth serum. And then they only speak the truth. I most
Yeah.
certainly wouldn't have done what I did if he hadn't been."
she says, I'm not interested in your rationalizations.
It's not a rationalization, Blank. It's a fact. If
No.
someone's under the influence of a truth serum, they speak the truth. So what you just said is untrue. Do you disagree?
Yes, she says.
So if someone can only speak the truth, holding a knife to their eye will not give them the truth?
She crosses her arms. She says, this is the rationalization I'm talking about. Why is there a knife being held to their eye in the first place?
You didn't answer my question. Will it give you the truth?
If they decide to speak. Well, if they think it's the truth, she says, she says we can have a whole big discussion about the truth. Maybe what they think they're saying is the truth, but the real information is told to them by somebody else.
If that's the case, then no amount of interrogation in any method, lies or not, is going to give you the answers you need.
She says, what is your problem?
My problem?
Yes, she says, let's get back to the point. I did make a mistake by not stopping you. I guess I made a mistake in trusting you, trusting that you knew what to do. Now I'm not so sure about that.
Trusting me.
Yes,
I did superficial damage, which I immediately healed.
don't.
Nora did more
You-
damage to him than I did.
You inflicted pain on him purposefully, methodically. You know those monsters that we came across with those people embedded in spikes, writhing in pain?
And if I hadn't have done it, people could die.
You don't know that.
I
How do you
do know
they
that
would
they
die?
might.
No, you're telling me the only way to prevent someone from dying is to torture another
I am
person.
telling you, in that specific instance, at that moment, at that night, because no one else stepped up with any ideas, if I had not have done what I did and we hadn't have gotten that radio frequency from him, more people would die.
She
Now-
says, hence the lie. You tell him that you go along with his plan. He tells you the frequency, and then you don't let him go. That is what I would have done. That is the answer to your question.
Then why didn't you say anything?
Because I thought you knew what you were doing. I didn't think you'd stick a knife to him. I thought it was a part of a bigger plan. But I see that you're filled with emotion, and whatever training you had, you keep calling back to, has seriously fucked with your morals. I have heard you go on time and time again about doing the right thing. Well, what I saw last night was not the right thing. And you're right. Why didn't I stop it? Well, I'm going to stop it from here on out. It's
I
just
didn't
that
ask
simple.
why you didn't stop it, Blink. I asked why when we were
You-
trying to find a way. No, let me finish. When we were trying to find a way to extract information from him, you could have said a word. You could have spoken up, and I wouldn't have had to do that. But you were silent.
Yeah.
And you want to judge me.
Yes, I do.
Well, I'm judging you. I did what I had to do because no one else stepped up.
She moves over to the door. Very well. You can judge me for being passive, and I will judge you for being a torturer. I can live with that. Good day.
Al
Good-
won't stop her.
Good talk. Good talk.
Okay.
Yeah, good talk.
Good
Good
talk. Good talk. Didn't resolve anything. Created drama. That's fine. It's good. You know what? It's boring when everyone gets along well with each other.
Can
You can't develop a character that way.
Mhm.
Anyway.
I have
Okay.
a scene now?
Okay. All right. Lay it on me.
Like 10 minutes later, Al's gonna knock on his door.
Oh my god. Hey, buddy.
Al will open his eyes after just falling into a meditative trance and just sigh. And I say, yes.
Can I talk to you for a little bit? You'll hear Tom.
Come on in. Door's open.
Tom will just kind of open the door and poke his head in. Are you okay? 'Cause Blink's not happy at all.
Blink thinks I'm a torturer.
Ah, Christ. Well, I wouldn't say Christ. Out of character.
Al would motion for Tom to come in and have a seat.
denominational deity.
Yeah,
Al's room is Grand Central Station. He'd motion him in to come in and have a seat.
Tom will sit across from him and go, so, how you doing?
I'm better. I don't like what I did. It made me physically sick to do it, and if I can go the rest of my life never having to do it again, I would love to. But I don't think what I did was wrong.
Okay. Well, how about this? We have been trying to do the right thing. As everybody has been saying in the past, we need to be the good guys and all of that. Hold on. How about we just try and make a compromise? I know that last night got really heated, really crazy, how about we come up with a plan in the future if the need arises before falling back on old tendencies? Because I have been trying to do that as well. I have been trying to keep an open mind and be a lot calmer than I used to.
This isn't a matter of being calm, Tom. None of us
I'm
know
trying.
how to interrogate someone in alternate ways.
I understand that. That's why I was trying to mention last night, maybe we shouldn't have done the interrogation.
If we hadn't have done the interrogation, we wouldn't have gotten the radio frequency, and the Hell Riders would be out there killing more people.
We wouldn't have gotten the radio frequency, but I'm fairly certain that because if we hadn't done the interrogation, the Office of Loss Prevention, they are really skilled. They know what they're doing. They would have done the interrogation.
Let me ask you something, Tom.
But
do you honestly think their methods were more gentle than mine?
no.
For a second?
No, but the problem...
Then you're
Hold
handing
on.
them over to someone to get tortured even worse than what I did.
Possibly, but there is a big
Al
difference.
looks at him surprised.
There is a big difference between doing it ourselves and them doing it.
No, there isn't. Not when you're the one that lets them. There's no difference. If you hand them over to someone you know is going to torture someone, you can try and rationalize it, but you are just as guilty.
Why are you like this? Like, seriously,
Al looks at Tom. Do you seriously believe that if you handed him over to people you know would torture him worse than what happened to him, that your hands are washed clean, that you're not responsible for that?
No, my hands aren't washed clean, but I
you
don't have...
gave him to them.
Can I please finish a sentence? He's
Al,
going
like,
to
shuts his
smile.
jaw. Yeah, Al shuts his jaw.
Thank you. I am still responsible, absolutely. But I don't have that crap on my soul, on my conscience for the next however many days. By doing the action, by physically doing that to somebody that I know is terrible, and I've killed people that are horrible, but there is a very big difference between that and torture.
Here's the difference, and here's why I did what I did. If we had just handed him over to them, their techniques would have been far more brutal than mine, most likely, and would have most likely damaged him far worse than I did. In fact, besides the fear and physical pain, he had no damage to him. I did what I did because, as much as he may never understand it, it was far kinder than what would have happened to him there.
Look, I just think from now on we shouldn't be doing interrogations unless it's like really, really absolutely necessary. And at this juncture, I don't think that this was absolutely necessary. At least not the methods. I understand that you felt justified, and hey, that's fine. I'm just trying to figure things out. Okay.
Let me ask you something, Tom.
Hmm?
Say we'd handed him over to loss prevention, and they had beat the crap out of him. Or here's a better question. Why is everyone upset at me and no one's upset at Nora, who did far more damage than I ever did? Is it because I was more effective?
Well,
everyone's knocking on my door, but I guarantee you I did far less damage than she did.
well,
I was
first
just
off,
better at it.
you have Nora, Ellie, Bila, Mariah, that whole thing. It's hard to communicate to one personality by itself. I mean, granted, I've never tried, but I also don't want to break my jaw, just like she broke that window. So I'm
I
reluctant.
see.
To...
So your
I-
morality goes as far as your jaw.
Okay, I'm worried. I'm worried as the GM.
I mean, I'm fine
worried.
as a player. Bern, are you fine as a player?
I'm kind of getting a little bit pissed off because he's being really hard-headed.
No, but that's fine. Okay, so let's just take a moment.
Sure.
Let's acknowledge this. This is a part of your characters, right? So
Mm-hmm.
here's the question. Kind of just out of character as a GM to his players. It sounds like Al is really set in his mind as to what he did and why he did it, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So there's probably nothing right now at this juncture that could be said to convince him otherwise, right?
Probably not. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
probably
no.
not.
This
It's
is more
possible,
for
but
Al.
yeah, it's possible, but yeah.
Okay.
It'd be
Okay.
hard.
It'd be very difficult. So I've just noticed, and I don't want to dissuade role playing whatsoever, right?
Yeah.
But I'm noticing some repetition here in the role play. You know what I mean? So I'm just concerned it'll go on like this for the next half hour.
Oh, it won't. It won't. I'll just say one more
No.
thing and then I'm done.
Okay.
Tom will
Okay.
walk out.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Well, he doesn't have to walk out, but
No.
just for you
He-
guys
He
to
could
will.
resolve
sashay
this.
away.
Okay. All right. Sorry.
Um,
So go ahead.
There is also the difference of I, at least up until now, thoroughly believed that you would listen. But you're very passionate about this, so I'll leave you to it.
Tom, I've listened to every word you've said.
Yeah, but you've heard me. You're not listening,
I
though.
disagree with you, yes. Do you expect me to agree with everything?
Tom's
I
gonna
listen
get up.
to all my friends, Tom, and you are my friend.
Mm-hmm.
But I am not you.
I understand.
Okay.
And then he's gonna walk out and go back to his room.
Al will
Okay.
close his eyes and go back to meditating.
Okay.
I blame this whole thing on Inferno.
Why?
No, I put you all in this situation. It's my own. No, but you know what? We have to address it. This is character development.
Mhm.
So you're gonna have another visitor at your door.
Yay!
This is Patrick floating around on his bed, dead asleep.
Al, oh my god, poor Al, as calm as he would like to be, I think.
Well, that's perfect because when you open the door, it's Nora. I mean, Ellie.
Oh no, he's gonna at this point he's gonna stay on the bed and just tell them to come in.
Okay.
He's
So
gonna-
Nora, arms folded, walks on in. So
Al,
I hear you've had some visitors this evening.
a few.
Yeah. She like walks over, like dismissing him. So a little birdie told me, and by bird I mean cat,
Wow.
that you were wondering about how I didn't get blamed and you got blamed, that I would have done more damage to
No, I
this-
was making a point, actually.
Yeah, well, it sounds kind of dickish, you know?
I didn't mean to be a dick.
I'm not
no.
gonna condemn you for what you did, Al. You did what you did, and that's all there is to it. I don't think there's any point in trying to convince you otherwise, but I mean, fucking look at you. You are not cut out for this shit. You're meant to heal people, Al. You're a good-ass doctor. You're a terrible, terrible spy. Well, I mean, you're pretty good at, like, disguising yourself. I'd say agent. Yeah, definitely.
I'm not cut out for the morality a spy should have. Yes.
So why are you doing it? Because you believe that something good will come out of it?
Al sighs. He goes, we had a chance to get information that could save lives and do it in a way that would not harm him. As I
Okay.
told Tom, handing him over to loss prevention probably would have required techniques that were far more damaging.
No, Al, we're only dealing in facts. Listen, like I said, I'm not here to condemn you, but we're only dealing in facts, okay? You don't know what they would have done.
All right, then facts. Most interrogation techniques I've ever seen that are handled quickly, yours an example, can be very damaging.
Uh-huh.
You know, you could have killed him by what you did. Rupture of a testicle, internal bleeding.
Okay, listen, like I said, dealing with facts. You've seen interrogations. You don't know what their methods are. Sure, maybe they could have bloodied him, beat him senseless, and then kill him. That's cool. That's their thing. You don't know that, Al. You're not you can't see into the future.
Here's what I know.
But the thing is, Al, let me say this. You believed in what you believe. You believe that this is right, and that's huge. That's important. And like I said, not condemning you, kind of really super bitter, trying not to be about, putting the blame more on me.
I didn't mean to put the blame on you.
Listen, I know you didn't mean it, but that's how it came across, and that's how it's gonna be.
Well, that's what Blink told you. She could have tilted it a certain way.
I mean, yeah, she's probably pissed too. Listen, I'm not trying to help you justify it, but I'm just saying maybe Ellie has a point.
Everyone who's come through that door today has a point, Nora.
Yeah. It's
point
because
that I
we care
agree with.
about you dumbass.
Al shakes his head. He goes, I don't disagree with any of you.
Then why
Look,
are you fighting us? Why? You admit that what you did was wrong. You wish you could have done elsewhere, but you
No.
keep defending it.
That's the point. I don't think what I did was wrong. I think it was necessary. I wish there's another way. There's got to be another way, and I'm more than willing to learn another way. But at that moment, at that time, there was none. So I did what I had to do.
Okay, so wait. So when you told me that what you did was wrong, that it was against your morals, you didn't mean that.
Hang on. I don't think I ever actually said Al thought
You
what he did was
did.
wrong. When
When we were
You
in the park.
100% did.
Yeah,
When
when
you
we were in the
said-
park when we were talking in that little garden.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You said it was wrong, but it was necessary.
Okay, got it. Al would be quiet and he would say, I was emotional. Look, I don't quite know how to describe this. If I could go the rest of my life never having to do that again, I would be happier than you can imagine. But if I feel that lives could be saved by doing that and I have no other options, you can't expect me to sit there and let people die.
Okay, Al. Yeah, whatever. I thought, listen, you're a good guy, and I don't know why you think this way. I really don't. And you don't need to say anything else. I think I've heard enough, and I'll get pissed and... Yeah, anyway. It's just, you sound a lot like someone from the Coalition right now. And honestly, I'm not going to condemn you for what you did, but if you do it again, I'm not going to think you any better than Nathan.
Al goes, wait a second. Whoa, hold on there.
Uh-huh.
You're not going to condemn me, but you're going to think I'm no better than Nathan when you damaged him more than I did?
Oh, here we go.
No. Answer this question, Nora.
Right.
What makes you better than me?
I am not better than you, Al.
So you're if you
No,
do it again, you're
shut
way
the
better.
fuck up, Al, and
Whoa,
listen
Al
to me.
stays quiet. Al stays quiet at that.
Good call.
Yeah.
Good call. She
I-
can murder you.
Yeah.
People think I'm the bitch because I'm always angry. You know why? You want to know why I'm always angry? I don't know why. And that's the fun part, Al, isn't it? I can't fucking control this, Al. You can. And
Then
she'll
until you
punch.
can,
She will
don't
punch
judge
the
me.
wall next to your head.
Al doesn't flinch
You're not
from
gonna
it.
get your safety deposit back.
Yeah. Al doesn't flinch from it. He looks Nora straight in the eye. Then until you can, don't judge me.
Fuck you, Al.
Everyone's getting along so
I
well.
And actually,
And
for
that's the end of the
first-
campaign.
No,
Everyone
that's-
goes their separate
yeah.
way.
For the first time, Nora, instead of looking angry, looks incredibly hurt, and she marches out. It's just a brief moment, like, of just sadness flashes across her face.
Jesus.
Okay.
The group's
Yeah, I
falling
know,
apart.
right?
All right.
I was gonna apologize until that last one.
All right,
Al was
doesn't
going
matter.
to, yeah.
Guys,
Yeah.
this is great. You guys can use it. You can utilize it. It's going to be great character development. It's not the end of the campaign. Can you imagine? Everything was going so great with this adventure. and then it all went down.
No, I
Anyways.
think all the players are fine, right? I think it's all just character
yeah.
stuff.
All the players
Oh,
are freaking
Squee, I'm never gonna like you.
I'm
but
over
that's
here
just
cutting
my,
myself.
my resting
Well,
state.
Well,
I
yeah,
think
that's...
I think this campaign is worse than Mass Effect Andromeda. Not just kidding.
Oh,
God.
are
Don't-
people
wait.
spinning
I'm
around
sorry,
and
I'm
like
sorry.
Nora
gyrating?
starts
Whoa,
dancing
we
on the
have
way
way
out.
better graphics.
Yeah, we have
We have better graph.
Okay, wait, guys. I
Topical.
gotta just put my. We can talk about this in a moment. I do want to end on a slightly more interesting note, or not interesting.
Well,
This was
fuck you.
totally boring. No, that's not what I meant. On
I know,
a different note, because last session we ended with a lot of high emotion. I'm gonna try something a little bit different here. Okay, so we okay. I was going to go into this, but now we've eaten through some time, so I'm going to just say it right now. Zenthia is fine. She's with her sister. No one came after her. Throughout the day, probably Lavin, maybe Al, it's up to him, of course. Maybe with the assistance of some of the other individuals too, managed to track her down, get in contact with her. She once again expressed her thanks and her kind of surprised that these strangers who came out of the blue would end up protecting her. And if you needed your tracker back, Lavin, she would have returned it to you. Obviously, it needs to be recharged, but it's back to you. If you want her to keep the pen, she can as well. The little, surprise, it's tear gas pen. She can keep the pen too. But she wasn't a very affectionate individual, but she does give the very briefest of hugs when you manage to track her down face to face. She says that she'll stay with her sister for a couple more weeks until the neighborhood kind of goes back to the way it was. So I'll wrap up here with the meeting with Z, if that's okay by you guys.
Sure.
Sure. Groovy.
Yeah.
Now, is it fair to say that all you wonderful player characters would come to this meeting?
What time is it at?
Oh, it's at noon.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
This
Of course,
is
I need him to optimize my bank account, man.
Oh, yes. Excellent.
Well, Tom would have gone, but
Mhm.
I think that this would be a perfect time to go and watch a movie with Blink or something. Try and get her to calm down at the very least.
She's not Nora levels of intensity or even Alicia levels of intensity. It's more of just a general frustration that she vents to you mostly, and she did pass by Nora, and so she vented to her a little bit too.
Okay.
Although not nearly as much because it was Nora, right? She kind of just gave her a couple passing remarks and then left, kind of a hit and run, so to speak, which is,
Probably didn't help with Nora's mood, but yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Anyways, but you could definitely do that. You can spend some social time together while waiting to hear from the Office of Loss Prevention. Okay, so Tom isn't here, but everyone else is.
Mhm.
The location for this particular meeting is underneath what used to be. It's an abandoned building, but it looks like it was abandoned recently, because at the very top of it is like this old, wooden Ferris wheel, and the big, gaudy painted sign in front of it used to say Princeps Party Supplies. Oh, no, sorry, Princeps Party Palace. You gotta go with the alliteration when you can.
I was
Right?
just gonna say.
Princeps Party Palace. And apparently, I guess people weren't having enough parties or didn't need it after all. But the meeting is actually inside of the building itself. You can see one of the boarded up doors has been kind of pried loose. May I assume that you guys all meet there on time, as per what Z likes?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. And as you enter the room, there's this kind of abandoned. It's a very small, cramped building, and across the small room, you see white eyes kind of glow as a metallic figure stands up. The metallic figure, but clothed in conventional clothing. He says, "Important information. Necessary small talk can only instigate in 5.3 seconds. How are you today? The sun is at 73% luminescence. This has now concluded small talk. Information. I have acquired interesting information. Last time we spoke, yesterday, at precisely 23 hours, 42 minutes ago, we spoke of radio signals, possible new means of communication by the Hellrider organization. You, one identified as Patrick Kinsman, suggested I monitor prison communications of captured Hellriders. I took this advice after analysis and located one bit and intercepted a small bit of communication, cryptic, small, brief, but it was from an outside source that suggested that this incarcerated Hellrider, a member of a hit squad that tried to attack you, if my information is correct, was told to stand tight and that there was to be quick and immediate regrouping effort. I have monitored 7,522 radio signals this past 24-hour period, and I have found a very interesting pattern in which I would like to display to you. He stops his pacing back and forth and comes to you, and he looks over to Lavin. My apologies. Optimizing your bank account will be a secondary prerogative.
Just glad you're working on it, buddy.
Yes, good pal. Hopefully, the affirmative, affectionate, social remark has elated you, but we are digressing. At exactly 5:06 a.m. this morning, a communication was passed down. It was not on a single band network. In fact, the message was across exactly 23 separate channels, in which one word was uttered in the midst of static. This one word.
Uh-oh.
That was a magical
Wow, it's
cutout.
suspense.
Oh, no. Someone let him know. I feel like Discord's, like, intelligent. Like, it knows, like...
Just screwing with us?
Yeah, it
one
knows,
word
like,
was
the
uttered
right
amongst the hills.
Yeah,
One
it
word.
there's like some employee sitting there with way too much time on their hand eating Doritos going, and now.
The word's duck sauce. It's duck sauce.
Gross.
Yeah.
Mother effing Discord.
Oh,
Sorry.
there we go. Hi.
All right.
Hi.
Let me continue in character. One word was uttered across each of the 24 separate signals and pieced together with the other words conveyed a message. It is played as thus. And he'll open up his mouth. And you'll hear these words it's almost like they were part of a sentence, because each person that speak, it has, like, each word is spoken by a person with a different voice, with a different tone, with a different timbre to it. Okay, but I'm not going to fluctuate between 24 different effing timbres for the sake of your ears. And I'm just going to tell you what the message is, which is simple. Rapid restruction is necessary. Regroup at 2457th, Warehouse B. Await orders. Organize all strike teams. And then it says, code Omega 0 at the end.
Oh, they failed.
Z raises a mind and he says, failed. Failure. Perhaps you could educate.
We captured one of their, I guess you'd say, lieutenants last night, and he had talked about a meeting that would be held earlier this morning. He had to be there. If he wasn't, if they felt anything was wrong, they would go underground. And what you just said sounds very much like that. Our associates in the city were attempting to, I suppose, pretend or get him to talk to them. Whatever the case may be, whatever they tried, it failed, and it looks like the Hell Riders are going to run to ground.
Incorrect assumption. Although, perhaps what you said does make sense. I have located this situation, this area. In fact, as of 32 minutes ago, have visually identified individuals coming and going from the location. If I planned on attacking that location, since all of the enemies are clumped close together during this rapid restructuring, I have come with the reason why the pleasant talk was briefly discussed, was to ask for your assistance. Your magical ability and combat prowess and abilities to fly around on jetpacks would be extremely useful in my crushing of the unoptimized
Oh God.
Hell Rider.
You want us to attack?
Correct.
Yeah,
But I'll like.
this is why I like Z.
What are their numbers exactly that you know of?
That I know of, there are currently 23 individuals residing in this warehouse.
Come on, we can take them.
Al sits back. We could take them? 23?
Correct. They are not wearing any armor and have primitive weapons that cannot pierce. And he clings his armor. My armor. I could annihilate them quickly. However, a few may run, which is why I require your assistance. You could stick to them. You could chase after them with jetpacks. You could do other wonderful things.
Al like pauses. Okay, so let me get this straight. You're going to go in there and be the main force of attack, and then we are what, mop up?
Correct.
Cleaning up?
Unless you can suggest an alternative tactic, I am open to all possible strategies.
Perhaps we give this information to Northern Gun's forces and let them take care of it, or at least let them participate.
Processing. Unfortunately, it is unsure of their reaction time or forces they may be able to bring. I see two possible flaws. One is the timing will not be correct. Perhaps I am unsure of when these Hell Riders will dissipate. Immediate action is better than no action. Secondary, if I am to participate, then this Northern Gun may identify me, and I am concerned over my well-being.
Then an alternative choice. We keep you in the background so that they don't find you. We find a way to keep them in that building until Northern Gun can respond.
Processing.
Lavin looks
I-
extremely crestfallen at Al's suggestion that we not do this.
And Z says, processing. Acceptable. In addition, I may be able to assume in tying them down, although not physically, since I do not have that amount of cable or string, but perhaps by messing with their communications, causing them delays, confusions. Typically, when individuals of your species are confused, they stay in one space in hoping that things will get better. For them, it will not be true. You can then infiltrate, surround, attack with other individuals. And I will stay, as you say, in the background, out of sight, covert, hidden, safe.
There's a few options. We could try and lock them in there, or we can try and give the impression that they are under such a strong attack that their only real valid option is to bunker up.
These
Yeah,
are
let's just
sound.
Let's just go take them out. You've been waiting for this. This is your
Lavin?
opportunity to get your sister.
Lavin, you're the only
Sister.
one here that has any sort of mega damage armor. We walk in there with a room full of 23 people, even with our friend here. Someone could die.
No, you go
Incorrect.
out
I
of,
will
out of
not
character. Out of character. They gave us access to armor, didn't they?
They did.
No. Oh, wait, they did. But
They
do we still have
did.
that access? Do we still have that access?
Yes, you do. They didn't revoke your access.
Mhm.
Oh,
I never
well,
said
crap.
anything.
That changes things.
That changes everything.
Put some
doesn't
armor
it?
on and go kick some ass.
Also, as a robotic second and
Yes.
out of player suggestion, you know what? Let's put it in. No, we could use the first option. None of us would actually be hurt if we used our armor, as well as I do have some magical means to prevent most, as he says, primitive weapons.
Yeah, I might ask to retcon something. If I knew we still had body armor, I never would have said any of that. I thought we were walking in there
That
with
was a fun
STC body
dialogue
armor.
anyway.
Yeah. If I knew we still, because you're absolutely right. If we all have MDC body armor and they all have STC weapons, let's go be Supermen.
Superman.
I wouldn't.
Fine.
Never mind. Sorry.
By the tones of your voice, you find this plan acceptable.
Absolutely.
Well, we should consider one thing, guys. This will be us acting out of orders when we were told to stand by and not do anything too hasty. Not that I'm
Yes.
necessarily against
They-
this.
They
but
also
this
told
could-
us to follow up with our lead, and our lead's giving us information that needs to be acted upon right now. It
As-
could
Correct.
show. We're showing initiative.
Yeah, we are showing initiative.
I am simply
Also-
pointing out that if this goes bad, we will not be in good graces.
Yes, we will not be in good graces if we don't inform them. But if we inform them that this is happening and then they can come in and clean up afterwards.
If
Like,
we
we can
inform them,
stall
they could show up while Z's still there, and we
That's
blow
the
his
thing.
cover.
That's the second thing that I was going to bring up. If they show up, then Z's still there. And we blow his cover.
And there is also another thing of informing them afterwards about what happened. Like, hey, it just so happened they all grouped up in one building and all died. What are we supposed to say? We found them?
Well,
I honestly think that I mean, if we have body armor, going in there and having fun to add a character is a good idea. But I think our best option to stay in Northern Gun's good graces would be to keep Z in the background, to not have him part of that assault. If we're all wearing body armor, we're probably almost as effective as he is.
we could have him around, but not directly in the fight.
Right.
Because
He'd be
he would
very
still
open to
be
this idea.
he would still be effective as a, oh hey, what's all your communications doing? Oh yeah, it's just scrambled.
Not only
Right.
that, but would also articulate, and I have to do it in character. I'd be very interested to see how you would combat other humans. It doesn't not involve my participation or being entrapped by you.
Mhm.
It is a different perspective I would get.
So basically, we call them, say our informant has their location right here, right now. We're on our way. Get everyone you can as fast as possible. We'll try and hold them for you.
Yes.
And
I
basically, if
think
they say,
that-
"Well, wait for us," we'll say, "No can do." They'll be gone.
Yeah, we would probably also need to give them a information, and at least probably would need to give them the audio thing that we obtained,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
which would probably require our robot friends to either speak or somehow tap into the radio signal and send that information, the audio information, through the radio.
I'm confused. What audio information?
The radio.
The intercepted radio transmission.
You know, the code that he deciphered over the radio.
We
transmission.
could just
ask. Z, you recorded this radio transmission, right? Within your
Correct.
data banks. Do you have a way of transferring that to us?
He extends a metal hand out to you. Please deposit an audio device into my hand, and I will jack into it. That did not sound.
Or did it?
New text tone. Thank you.
Al would look to Patrick.
Let's see.
maybe he should have said interface with it.
Sunglasses.
Surely the LPO will take our word for it.
It's
We need to
true, but the
provide
more
evidence.
evidence we send them, the faster they'll probably react.
Yeah. Or we could just what we could do is go on the radio, hey, we got information, here's the recording, and just blast the recording. And then go, we're going to the meeting point,
Yeah.
and we'll be there, try and get there as fast as possible.
Yeah, I think that would probably be the best way to do it, because how else are we going to
Yeah.
like
You're going to keep them in the loop, but you're also going to show initiative. I think it's a good compromise.
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's just me.
No, I agree completely, because I am all for taking these guys, but we also don't want to have to sit there and go, so you decided to just go attack a bunch of Hell Riders and not tell us?
Yeah, and also we do have an emergency thing to get their attention immediately. And you know what? I don't know a better way to actually use that other than a thing that they need to know immediately.
Yeah. This can't be, oh, hey, and here's a recording after the fact.
Oh my god, guys, we could turn this into a slaughterhouse in the sense that if we lock the doors with adhesive carpet or something, that it makes it very difficult for them to get out. I mean, we could turn this
God.
into a slaughter pen.
We don't know if it connects to a sewer or anything. That's the thing about the doors, right?
True.
We don't know
I mean,
what's
true,
down.
but
Although,
the fewer methods of escape they have, the more.
Honestly, especially after this interrogation thing, I think we should try and not kill everybody. That might be a good
agree.
idea.
I'm totally fine with killing people.
Yeah,
Maybe a few.
Yeah.
Not everybody.
But I'll tell you what, I'm gonna wrap up this session here. You guys can continue to talk about your strategies, after Burn is done streaming and throughout the
Yes.
week, of course. But I'm glad. I'm excited about the next session now.
Yes.
I'm glad I've managed to get Z to say what he did, because all right,
It's good
okay,
stuff.
anyways, thanks for watching, everyone.
Yes,
Yay,
catch you guys
bye,
next
everyone.
Sunday. Don't forget, we try and stream
Bye.
every Sunday with Riffs, and every Wednesday with 3 Galaxies. There is also one thing that I forgot to do, so before we go, we are going to show off some fan art that Criana
Oh,
drew
my God.
last session.
Wait, I drew. Oh, that's right. I did draw
yeah,
something.
because Lavin
can
tripped.
draw?
Making fun of
Fuck
me.
up, Squee.
Yeah, Lavin tripped and fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was funny.
It was.
Oh, I drew it.
That's good stuff.
That's actually really
Why
well
didn't
done.
it
Yeah.
work? I tripped.
I mean, all your stuff is really well done.
I like the design of the
Yeah.
cybernetic guy
Yeah, it's good.
because it's clearly not human eye, but it's not half of his head is a robot. It's great.
Subtlety. My dear Watson, subtlety.
Mon papa.
Yeah, you excel at subtlety.
Wink and a thumbs up.
Fantastic.
Alright.
But anyways, thank you guys for watching.
Bye.
Bye.